Don't miss the nation's largest league competing for the biggest prize in American cricket. The Toyota Minor League Championship returns this summer, live on Willow TV.
The action intensifies in this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Sunoco, live from Exton Park. The final weekend, of course, of the action from Philadelphia, the final game as well in this Philadelphia Cricket Festival. The Philadelphians, the home team, up against the Manhattan Yorkers, who we will be seeing for the very first time. Well, truly it was some exciting action earlier where the Stallions won and continue to cement their position at the top of that Eastern Conference, now on 16 points, in a real good shape to go on and qualify for those playoffs. And in this battle, the Yorkers, second position, will be looking for a win to just stay close to them. Both teams will be gunning for the #1 spot. For the Philadelphians, that desperately need a win after losing yesterday to the Stallions. And earlier, of course, we had the captains, the two captains out in the middle. Milind Kumar from the Philadelphians. Toss won, though, by the Yorkers, who opted to bowl first. Rajdeep Darbar, the captain, winning the toss. So, have seen teams like to chase on this surface. Well, Nate, he is alongside me yet again. We've had some fantastic insight from you over the last 6 weeks. This game, you look at the Philadelphians especially, what's going to be key for them if they want to get over the line and get a much-needed win?
Well, we've got another beautiful day. The Philadelphians are definitely going to want to get more from their opening batters. We've seen this weekend that the teams tend to win or lose with their openers. Manhattan are one of the strongest teams in the league on their day, but they need to find some more consistency too. John Campbell and Bhaskar Yadram are the major standouts for Manhattan. Philadelphia have really no more than a prayer at the moment for the playoffs, but I'd love to see them have something to play for. Milind Kumar would want to get back into his form after a bad day yesterday, and I'm curious to see where Liam Plunkett bats today, believe it or not, as he's had a knack for staying around.
Well, there you have it from the man himself, Nate Hayes, and we have seen a change tactics in terms of when you look at the two teams, the Philadelphians. One change for them is Shoreful Islam coming in. And, well, for the other side of things, for the Manhattan Yorkers, a couple of changes for them, as Sean Findlay missing out for Gajanan Singh, the USA international batter, comes back into the team. A huge addition alongside John Campbell, Bhaskar Yadram, Raj Patel. The batting lineup has been a real treat to watch in this minor league tournament, the way that the Yorkers have gone about things. Just about ready to get underway. You see the two batters out in the middle. A new opening pair for the Philadelphians. Milind Kumar out in the middle. No Abdullah Saeed. Very interesting for the Philadelphians. Saeed is usually the preferred opening option, but the captain himself coming up the order.
This is very interesting, but I kind of expected them to make a change at the top of the batting order. So it's not that shocking to see Milind in at this role. He's very capable of adapting his game to just about any situation. I really enjoy watching him bat.
So Derek Narain it is, who got a lavish 24 before he was dismissed in just 10 deliveries yesterday, alongside Milind Kumar. And of course, Noman Iftikhar starting off things for the Manhattan Yorkers with the ball in hand. The fast bowler was picked up. 29 wickets in the minor league. Well, just about ready to get underway in this second and final game of Super Sunday here from Exton Park. Derek Narain on strike, facing. Sorry, correction. It's actually Milind Kumar who's on strike. Let's play. Now third in place on the boundary. Just doesn't carry, fortunately, for Milind Kumar, because yesterday he was dismissed on the very first delivery in that game against the Stallions. Looking to play a sweep today, though, off the mark straight away.
And we saw Milind Kumar in the Houston Challenge, you and I. when we did those games down there. He was very good against the spin. The spin was incredibly difficult during that tournament on that wicket. So it's interesting to see him opening. He's certainly capable of it. But, you know, they tend to like to save him for spin. I don't think that's as big of an issue maybe on this pitch. Kind of deal more with bounce than anything else.
Yeah, we'll need to take early wickets. They definitely need to win, the Manhattan Yorkers. They lost the last weekend against the Eagles, the New England Eagles, who sit currently at bottom of the table. Down the leg side. Good stop in the end, though, from the captain, Darbar, because that could have easily gone for 5 wides. An important stop for the Yorkers.
Yeah, even with this slow grass, that could have easily gone all the way to the boundary. Excellent stop by the keeper there.
Well, yesterday, the Philadelphians, inside the first 6 overs, they were 41 for 3. They were 10 to lose wickets in the power play, at least 3 of them. In the last 3 games, they've lost 2 wickets in the first 6. So I think Milind Kumar, the captain, trying to come up the order to take some added responsibility. Noman Iftikhar missing his run-up. Gives us time, though, to touch on this Philadelphians batting lineup. Yesterday, they made 140, but they only faced 18.4 overs in a game which came down to the last ball, where the Stallions won it on the last ball, and needing 1 from 1. You just think, had they batted the remaining 8 deliveries, how much of a different game it could have been.
Yes, and we saw one of those gutsy performances from Liam Plunkett to stick around in the middle for a long time. Maybe if the rest of the team had kind of adapted that attitude, like you said, they might have scored 5 or 6 more runs.
Well, one thing that's interesting to note, out of the 3 games we've had so far, Nate, all have been won by a chasing team. Yesterday, the DC Hawks won, chasing out 125. Then, of course, the Philadelphians were defeated by the Stallions, chasing 144. And today, both captains winning the toss, electing to chase. So we saw Anthony Bramble and the Stallions chasing successfully, and now the Yorkers opting to chase. What do you think? There's a big swing and a miss. Why do you think it is captains preferring to chase, and they have been more successful chasing on this venue?
I think it's pretty good ground for batting. I think it's I think teams feel confident that they can restrict and then chase the total, obviously. But another thing that's not coincidental is that the teams that have performed better with the opening batters have won all 3 games as well. I think that's probably even more important.
Yeah, there's a progressive move, though. I like it from Milind Kumar. I think Abdullah Saeed is probably best suited for the top of the order. But what I like about it, you look at Kumar's runs, even though he's led the scoring charts for the Philadelphians, I think they need some more production from him, some more output. Such a class player, Milind Kumar. When you look at his numbers, he's only got 238 runs in the 9 innings in this tournament. But a man that's played and scored over 1,000 T20 runs, average close to 30, and obviously played at the IPL for the Delhi Capitals and the Royal Challengers Bangalore. Noman Iftikhar missing his run-up again. This is a very long over, and remember, Nate, the umpires have been very stringent on the over rate and that sort of procedure. So that'll be something for the captain, Rajdeep Darbar, to think about.
Yeah, I heard Jesse Singh last game in the field discussing over rate with his team. It has been something that's been held over their heads, and for good reason. We want to see the game move at a nice pace.
This is again Noman Iftikhar. 5 minutes this over is already taken up, and they still have 2 deliveries remaining. So this won't help Rajdeep Darbar. They do have a lot of spin, the Yorkers, Yasser Mohammed, John Campbell, but clearly something bothering the run-up and obviously the stride of Noman Iftikhar.
Yeah, only 3 runs allowed, and like you said, we were over 5 minutes now for the over.
That is gorgeous from Milind Kumar, over extra cover. That's why he's come up the order and almost takes out some spectators in the process. We'll put that on the cover of Dafa News. Lofted over the top, knowing that the field was in this power play. Just 2 allowed outside the circle. And even with some away movement, almost working to the favor of Milind Kumar, using the width on offer. just a little dodge. Very non-Toyota Tundra-like. And I say that because the Toyota Tundra is all about power, all about speed. She was just very nonchalant in her dodge. Here it is again, this time though a wide. You can see the boundary again. Such a long over for Iftikhar. He's had 2 wides in the over. Same area, same result from Milind Kumar. He would have been short of runs yesterday, being dismissed on the very first delivery, making up for it today. End of the first over, big one for the Philadelphians, 12 for none.
So 12 runs on the over, that looks a little bit more like a 6-minute over than three runs. You know, probably 7-minute over almost. Hopefully he gets his run up down.
Well, in the last over, we had Milind Kumar playing a glorious shot. But watch this here, Nate Hayes. The most nonchalant of dodges. Oh, yes, it's too easy. She had that covered. Enjoying herself at the cricket. Good to see the crowd in support. And they're maybe telling her TikTok followers or, you know, the young people of today, Nate, they love these social media platforms.
The young people of today, listen to you.
Back in my day, yeah, we used to use those platforms, but now, getting a bit older, getting some treatment to that left leg. Milind Kumar, seen some difficulty with that hamstring, and Mario Rampasad out of the 11 today.
Well, when you're standing in the crease waiting for the ball, and the bowler keeps going back to his start, maybe you get a little cramp in your leg.
Really, Nick? I never knew that, actually. Interesting. Cramp from just standing.
Standing there, yeah. You know,
for 1 over.
For one, well, basically 1 over worth of standing still waiting for the bowler to bowl.
All right, thank you, guys.
Well, Derek Narain, 24 from 10. Just timed the ball so well yesterday and then threw it away. Today, though, will ensure want to get a good start and then hope that he can make wrong things right. Change, obviously, a new bowler from the other end as well. And it is Raj Patel who will continue. Short delivery, surprised him, and it's going to be a wicket for the Yorkers. Finger goes up, and it's the very first delivery dismissal for Derek Narain. A ball that just got a bit of extra bounce, completely surprised him.
Oh man, I love that type of aggressive bowling there. Oh, right up in his grill. You love to see that.
You look at the length of that delivery, probably wouldn't have expected it to bounce so high, but the line was so important. A disappointing return for Narain, going without scoring, 12 for 1.
And once again, Philadelphia losing an early wicket. This isn't a good sign for them.
Well, look at this. We already saw one change in the batting order. Milind Kumar coming to the middle. Now, Liam Plunkett, who got 48 yesterday, has walked to the center. Interesting that the Philadelphians have opted for Plunkett so early, but may just want to maximize these first 6 overs. It's an area where they've really struggled in this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship. And you look at yesterday, Plunkett came in at number 5. He came in at the score 3 for 36. He's got to 48 from 42, and boy, did he bat well to help his team just get to that 140 mark. Came in yesterday and was dismissed in the 18th over, Nate. So can definitely bat time. Be interesting to see the approach he takes in this innings.
He's got a great average. And if you remember back before the game started, I said he might come in early.
Well, Nate, we know that's why we come to you every weekend, and that's why you're paid the big bucks for great analysis and insight like this. Liam Plunkett coming in at number 3, and this is why he's here. Raj Patel, watch the length of this delivery. Yes, it was short, but it wasn't that short. He just went straight at the body of Derek Narain, who had no idea. Good delivery from Patel. Great camera work to get the celebration as well.
Yeah, that's like.
No fun at all facing a ball like that. It's no fun when it climbs up at your chin like that.
There's no better way, Nate, to start your innings or start your bowling spell with the wicket. How does he bowl to Milind Kumar? Different challenge. Oh no, wrong line. Not to a player with strong wrists like Milind Kumar. You want that every day of the week. Another boundary. Kumar's looking in good stride here. Problems for the Yorkers.
We've seen Milind Kumar take advantage of a ball that was too wide, gave him too much space, and we see him take advantage of one that's going right at his heels.
When you look at the field that he has, for Milind Kumar, he's got a slip in place. He's clearly looking to bowl a very straight line, angling the ball in to the right-hander. He's got a pat offside field, a deep third in position, and the other man out at that deep backward square position, right of screen. So it tells you that he wants to be very straight, protect the boundary in the onside. Yeah, good delivery. Much better from Patel, but it was a dream start for him and a good start overall for the Yorkers. They want to continue to eat into this Philadelphians lineup, Nate. A team that has really struggled throughout the tournament. Obviously, they've had some big absences. Kareem Gore with his all-round ability is a big miss. But it just seemed like they've capitulated at the wrong times. Yesterday, at the 15-over mark, they were 104 for 5. And they ended up only with 140, losing 5 wickets for 36 runs. Off the outside edge, but no slip in place this time. He's going to run fine. He'll be well cut off, though, just for a single. What has been the problem with this batting lineup?
They just haven't been able to get any consistency. They've gotten it from Milind Kumar for the most part, and Liam Plunkett, and so the two of them are batting at the top of the order today. I don't blame them for this strategy. I think it's a very good strategy. As I mentioned, Milind Kumar is going to take advantage of mistakes, and if you make mistakes early, you could dig yourself a hole against him. And they might be trying to put pressure on the Yorkers this way.
He's a class player, Milind Kumar. So enjoyable to watch at the crease when he's well set. But also, because of our global partners on board, like the Toyota, like the Dafa News, of course, Sunoco as well, our presenting sponsor, it allows you to have players that have scored over 1,000 T20 runs in this tournament. Let's see what he can get today. End of the second over, 19 for 1.
1, 2, 3.
Took that last corner pretty quick.
Sir, I need one hand on the roof, one hand on the pump.
Timeout for Sunoco Go Rewards.
Keep pumping.
With new Sunoco Go Rewards, when you fuel, you save, because rewards come first.
Well, 19 for the loss of 1 wicket. And the Philadelphians with a bit of a change in their batting lineup. Something had to change because they've really struggled, lost 5 games out of 9, the Philadelphians. And speaking of change, there will be a change in bowling.
Abraham Velasquez-Magari comes in, and Vali, as he's known, plays for the USA U19 team. Very good bowler, very good all-around player. He actually bats a lot better than he's given credit for, and he actually has a very high strike rate in this competition right now in his few chances.
Through point, flash through point. And Liam Plunkett, who's watched for a while in that last over, opening up his account in terms of boundaries. Really got a good bat on that.
Well, he's been brought here partly to teach the youth, and it looks like he gave a little bit of a lesson right there to Velasquez-Magari. Don't give him that much space.
Yeah, it will be a challenge for Abhiram on this type of surface where the ball just comes onto the bat on this synthetic deck. So for Plunkett and Milind Kumar, they have scored. So Plunkett already underway in this third over. What a delivery though, much better. Almost a taste of his own medicine, Plunkett. who's so good at just starting that ball in and just letting it move away late. Much better in terms of the line of where you want to be.
And we talked about how they've got to lean on their stars, Millen Kumar now, and Liam Plunkett. They've had to lean on them because they've had inconsistency elsewhere. One of the reasons for that is the Kareem Agor injury. Kareem did so well in the cool and smooth, and you know, it was his batting that earned him the MVP of that tournament.
Should just be a single, deep third in place. Yeah, Kareem Agor, a big absence, not only for his batting or bowling, but also his fielding. Such an electric fielder. He was brought in from the Somerset Cavaliers. He's a man that's obviously represented the USA at the international level. So he's been a big miss for them, especially with that stability in the middle order. It's meant that Millen Kumar and others have got to step up. I like this move, though. I'll tell you why, Nate. When you have the likes of Jonathan Fu, Sharanshu Bhatia, who's shown that he can finish the innings off, sending Liam Plunkett up the order to maximize on the first 6 overs. It's one of the most important, if not the most important phase of a T20 game. When you're only allowed, as a batting team, you're only allowed 2 fielders outside the circle, which gives you so many areas to score. Plunkett, a man that if he bats for a while, really can take the game on and change the game.
This is one thing I'd like to see. His first game of the season was down in Morrisville, and we got to see him bat with some freedom because the team had given him a decent platform. And when he has that ability to bat with freedom, he's very, very dangerous.
All 4 deliveries of this over, all 5, correction, have been outside that off stump. He's just searched for the right length. Abiram Valisamagari. I remember watching him in Houston. He's a young prospect with a lot of ability, making the switch over to the Eastern Conference. Always fascinating. We have a couple of players that have done that, from the Pacific to the Atlantic, where Mario Rampasad would have played for the East Bay Blazers, not in the 11 today for the Philadelphians, but from the Blazers on one side of the United States to the next in terms of Philadelphia. Abiram doing similar. Bhaskar Yajam from the Empire State Titans. Very full delivery, but just be a single. So a decent first over for Valisamagari, 27 for 1.
And surprisingly, he actually was not picked in the draft, Valisamagari. Even though he is on the USA U19 team, that goes to show how many strong young players there are in Texas. But also, you know, sometimes really good players miss out on the draft. Now, it's great that the Yorkers went and got him and added a very high-quality U19 player in their setup. We know, after watching the finals last year, you need to have a good U19 player in your team in order to compete deep in the playoffs.
Yeah, we've seen some real good finds in this minor league, of course, presented by Sunoco over the course of the 2 years. Some young talent already emerging to the forefront. Raj Patel, who picked up a wicket in his very first over, will be back into the attack. Put that in a museum. Straight back over the bowler's head, straight over the rope for 6. Millen Kumar, a man that when he gets going, he's very hard to stop.
That one almost went into the pond there, didn't it?
Well, it was just all about that bat swing from Millen Kumar, even though it wasn't the fullest of length. He just made use of what he had and lifted it over those 2 fielders in the circle at mid-on and mid-off.
Compared to recent games, this is a great start for Philadelphia already.
How often have we seen, though, from the Philadelphians where they've been in real control? Yesterday, you look at that situation. They had a 57-run partnership between Plunkett and Sharanshu Bhatia, and they were so well poised at 104 for 5 in the 15th over to get to that 150 mark, which probably would have made all the difference, given that the game came down to the final delivery. But instead, just seemed to go a bit too hard too early and just lost wickets at the wrong time. So that now that they've got this good start, they have to build on it. Another one off the outside edge and deep third in place. So will just be a single, but you can see the run rate already past 10 and over. This has been good from the Philadelphians, a much improved start.
And I am curious when Saeed Abdullah comes in the batting order at this point. Well, I mean, you know, since he's not opening the batting, I'm curious where they're going to bring him in. But he can certainly do damage in a hurry when he does come in. So hopefully this partnership, hopefully for them, can go pretty deep.
Didn't quite get this one, but he does get it over the top. Well fielded in the end. Didn't time it as well as the one he hit early in the over. That went all the way for 6. Milind Kumar races to 25. That very first delivery of the over. Such a good time of the cricket ball. What a cracking shot this was. Look at the focus. Just hold that pose for the rest of this tournament. Put that on Dafa News. Times this one nicely. And it will be work for the deep mid-wicket fielder to do. So slow outfield Gajanan Singh having to make up a lot of ground there. Keeps it to just 2 though. Nate, one thing I wonder about this Philadelphians team, when they came into this minor league season, everybody looked at them in the Atlantic Conference and thought, well, this is a team to beat. Do you think the expectation may have just got the better of them in these first 9 games?
That, and they had some bad luck along with Kareem Agor being injured. Trinson Carmichael was also injured at the same time. He does the same role with the ball, at least, for that team. So they missed some key role players. But yeah, I think a lot of people are kind of disappointed with how they performed. They do seem to have a good spirit amongst themselves anyways. And, you know, the management has really managed this team well. So let's see how they go from here.
Well, Carmichael, who we just saw in that dugout right of screen. Trimson Carmichael making the change from the Empire State Titans. Is a very new team for the Philadelphians. You look at the names that they brought in down the leg side. A brand new setup for a lot of these players. I mentioned Ram Prasad making the switch over from the Pacific. Carmichael and Gore coming from other teams in the Eastern Conference. Liam Plunkett, first season in the United States. Extra bounce, using it to his advantage. Milind Kumar, it's going to be 4 more. This is scary times for the Manhattan Yorkers. The way that Kumar started ends the over with a boundary.
Excellent stuff. Look at that beautiful shot right there.
Yeah, just so good at using the pace. Plays the ball so late and well fielded in the end as well. Good to see the youth involved and engaged. 44 for 1. Well, Nate Hayes, this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship does not get much better than this. What an enjoyable tournament, what an enjoyable 6 weeks it's been, with so much more action left in this tournament, going to the end of August. Don't miss it. That is some Magari. I think that's the line he wants to be, because anything with width on offer will be put away. On this synthetic surface, the ball does tend to slow up after it bounces, so it gives Plunkett and Milind Kumar time. Second over for Valis Magari.
Not just width, but we've seen them miss a little bit too full. That's been sent away. We've seen them miss too short. That's been sent away. They have to be very accurate with this partnership.
Yeah, the Philadelphians will know exactly the history of this ground, especially over the weekend. The fact that 3 teams have all chased and won in the 3 games. So the fact that they're batting first, it tells you they're going to need something substantial. If this partnership continues and maybe bats to the 10th over, then all of a sudden a completely different outlook of a first inning score. We've seen 140, 150 be a good score here, but if you can get in excess of that with the Philadelphians bowling, the likes of Plunkett, Carmichael was in the wickets yesterday, Bhatia, then you think they could be favorites to win. Cricket, this Eastern Conference especially has been so tightly contested.
Definitely, it's always going to be a difficult conference. There's a lot of great cricketers in this region of the country. But the only thing they really lack are infrastructure. They need better grounds. But, you know, I think they're on the way.
can't wait to have turf surfaces all across the country. It's a work in progress. It's coming, folks at home. Shorter this time. Yeah, Nate, very important though that teams are able to play on turf surfaces. You see a lot of Pacific Conference teams have the opportunity to play. But I think as this game slowly grows in this country, you will see a lot more turf surfaces. I know Atlanta and many other places are in the process and progress of building those turf surfaces. But for those at home that have not seen this very green pitch, this is what we're dealing with, a synthetic matting covering cement. And, well, for me especially, Nate, it's been an interesting challenge because I haven't done a lot of cricket on these types of surfaces, but it's been great to see the way that players have reacted to it and the challenge that it's also caused. Hasn't been the easiest to play on.
This is an especially spongy surface. This is almost like an indoor facility, you know, where you go to get some batting practice. When those tend to be a little bit too spongy, this is what this surface is like. If you hit good length here, you're going to get a lot of value.
We've also seen the sort of implementation, the weekend before last. This one is pulled powerfully but straight to the fielder. The Americans were able to put in a hybrid surface. We had a premium coverage there as well. And that could be the way forward as well, which gets you a lot closer to what the actual turf surface is. You can see, though, progressive things happening by the minor league and the organization in steps in the right direction.
We can't expect turf all around the country. It's far too expensive. It's too, you know, there's too much maintenance required. But the hybrid wicket is an excellent middle ground. It's closer to turf than it is to Astro. And I'm a big believer in hybrid wickets.
Very straight again from Edison Magari. He's good bowling though because of the protection he has in the deep on the onside. Ends the 5th over. A very good one for the Yorkers, pulling things back just 3 from it. 47 for 1.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले। हाँ, तेरे घर लाने का।
My son is so soft-spoken. Everyone says he's so good-looking, and he never forgets to call.
Hi, Mom.
Born for your true self. The 2022 Tundra. Toyota. Let's go places.
Back here at Exton Park, Brian Barish alongside Lenny Achabar to take you through the next couple of overs. The Philadelphians, sometimes you have to deal your own around here, and Milind Kumar says, you know what, I have to put myself in. And he's done very, very well here to start things off as Yadram will come into the attack for the Manhattan Yorkers, trying to keep pace with the New Jersey Stallions at the top of the table.
Thank you, Brian. We've seen a very good batting display here from Milind Kumar. He has certainly come out with a purpose. And so far, the boys have recovered well. They're sliding down the leg side. Take a look at this one. So not a good start here from Bhaskar Yadram. 48 for 1. They've lost the wicket of Derek Narain. Still a long way to go. The Philadelphians will have to get this one right, Brian. So, ball tucked into the onside. And I love the approach here that Milind Kumar has come out. We saw the openers that they've used, Abdullah and Derek Narain, never really worked out. In fact, in 7 or 8 innings, Brian, their highest score between the two opening pair has been 38. So they have struggled at the top of the order. Milind has come in, and he's been classy so far. Noman Iftikhar on your screen there. And we saw earlier on Noman Iftikhar having some problems with the run-up. So Bhaskar Yadram comes into Milind Kumar. This over has gone pretty well for Bhaskar Yadram, considering he's bowled a wide. But relative to that, a couple of good balls.
Yeah, they're trying to settle in here to finish out this this power play. The Philadelphians, if you remember yesterday, the game against the New Jersey Stallions here, ended up with a target of 140 before being bowled out, or a total of 140. But the Stallions were able to meet on their 120th and ultimate delivery. A thrilling game in front of a large grazing room only crowd here at Exton Park.
So they're on the verge of their first milestone. Brian, cricket has always been measured in 50s and 100s. So this one pulled into the onside. That's a lovely shot. And that's gone away for 4 runs to Milind Kumar.
And you mentioned in bringing Kumar, saying, let's bring myself into the attack here. And he's doing very well to see this bowling. Would have hopped over the leg stump, and he did well to turn it around and pull that one to the onside, the fine leg. Another 4.
Yeah, lovely shot from Milind Kumar, brings up the 50. They're up to 54, and Milind Kumar has come out with great purpose. He has handled the change pretty well. And look at that, he's up to 36 in quick time. And we've seen a very well put together bowling squad, the likes of Nomi Iftikhar. We've seen Raj Patel. Now we're seeing Bhaskar Yadram, of course, Deveshwari Prashad still to come. And then, of course, John Campbell. He bowls very tidy off spin. Yasir Mohammed, another player that has been part of the US setup, very young player. And so the bowling reserves pretty hectic and very heavy. And Plunkett has played a good part so far, Brian. You look at the partnership here, he's up to 42 after the earlier loss of Derek Narain.
It's interesting to see him come in so high, coming in at number 3. Usually we see him more in the middle order, somewhere in the 5, sometimes in the 6 range. But again, well, the Philadelphians need to win this game if they want to have any sort of remaining hope of playing finals cricket. They don't want to come out of this festival weekend with 2 losses.
And the fact is, Brian, they're batting first. They will have to do better than yesterday. 6 overs gone. It's 54 for 1. So Derek Narain, the only victim so far. Got a very good ball from Raj Patel, couldn't get out of the way, and we've seen a good recovery here so far from Milind Kumar and Liam Plunkett. And they've posted 42 so far.
Yeah, and Patel is very unlucky not to get a second wicket. You know, Kumar had to fight off one of those balls as well, somewhere up around his shoulders, and he managed to stay in. And lucky for him, now he's reached 37 off of 21. Very good start for the Philadelphians.
So the Philadelphians, Brian, they've played 9, they've lost 5, they've won 4, and they badly need a win to stay in contention. So Abhiram Valasamagari will continue. He's bowled a couple of overs for 11 so far. Will come into bowl to Milind Kumar, who's looked very good. This one pulled away into the onside. And they come back for a couple of runs. In fact, it may have gone away for 4, so 4 runs off the bat of Milind Kumar. That's a good-looking shot, 58.
Very good shot. He got a thick outside edge and was able to find the gap. And Kumar staying very much in control here. And you see that one bouncing up a little bit high. Just got by the keeper and into the vacant, sort of that fine leg third man area. Runs away for 4.
So Milind Kumar, quality player. Goes into the 40s. We've seen Milind Kumar, high score this season has been 83 against the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers. This one ball goes down the leg side, called a wide. Let's look at the extras column. Extra column has gone up to 6. And so the Manhattan Yorkers guilty of probably giving away some extras here. Look at this one.
Yep, right behind. That's probably borderline there, but Shane Samuels, our umpire, calling that one a wide.
So we've seen excellent cricket in the last day or so. There is Roshan Samuels, man who comes out of the Atlanta region. We have seen a lot of migration and movements of players and officials during the course of this minor league series, Brian.
You can't follow this game the way that a lot of us do who attach to it without putting some miles in the register.
So this was gone pretty well for Valasamagari. Saw the first ball of the over going down the leg side. I went for 4. So there we go, Roshan Samuels. Top quality umpire. Roshan would have also done Caribbean tournaments on the regional stage, junior tournaments, and even some senior ones. He's a top quality umpire, comes out of the top squad and the elite squad, as we call them, 61 for 1.
Yeah, and it's great to see, you know, the umpires here. Of course, Brian Kane as well. And, you know, the umpires, they do such a great job, and they're such a important part. You know, especially we see a lot of sports where there's a lot of bad treatment of officials. There's a lot of officials who spend a lot of really good time, a lot of time for their craft, and these two are amongst the many that do so.
So continuing coverage of the Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Sunoco. And boy, Brian, I thought earlier on when Nikhil and Nate was on comm, we got a dapper news shot of the game so far. Here we go, Brian Kane. Originally out of Philadelphia, but now in New York.
And you can't really tell, but he is a very tall man.
So Brian Kane, Roshan Samuels doing the duties is Abhiram Valasamagari. And a partnership that has gone up to 49 so far between the pair. So ball turned into the onside, so that brings up the 50 partnership between Milind Kumar and Liam Plunkett. It has come at a good time here for the Philadelphians.
It really has, and you know, you have probably two of your most experienced batters, two players who have played in the more elite T20 forms of the game, the IPL. And Plunkett playing as part of the Big Bash League in Australia, and also playing in the county setup, the Blast as they call it. There is the 50 partnership from 34 balls. The Philadelphians, a team that have really run cold with the bats lately. Want to see them kick on and put up a big score.
So very good partnership for the Philadelphians, and that has been one of their problem, their batting problem at the top of the order. We saw the Abdullah, Derek Narain partnership never really worked out, their highest being 38 in 7 or 8 games. So 7 overs gone, 63 for 1. So still a lot of batting to come. Abdullah Saeed, now that he has not opened the batting, Brian, the question is, when does he come in? Shiranshu Bhatia is still to come. Anarudi Manuel, Surapul Islam has been drafted into the side. And the likes of Kangura, Hayat Khan, Jonathan Fu. Jonathan Fu is going to be a big fish here. And Tristan Carmichael.
Be interesting to see if they go with Saeed coming in at number 4. And Fu, of course, looming, a man who, we talk about this exact fixture last year, which because of rain was played up in Mercer County, the outskirts of Trenton. And that was a game when Fu and Derek Pendatton required 21 off the final 7 to try and beat the Yorkers, or rather 22 off the final 7 balls. Pendatton hit a 6. Leaving Fu to face the final over. He had 2 6s and then turned down singles on the next 2 balls to keep himself on the strike. All he needed was a 4. and he batted a 6 to win. And it was a massive celebration, one that I was almost a part of, calling that match. Was almost tackled by the entire Philadelphians team. Yeah, so it was a very big win, a very character-building win for this franchise. Unfortunately, it did not yield a playoff berth, but very big win in the history of this franchise.
So Yasser Mohammed comes into the attack. Ball tugged into the onside, and Yasser Mohammed would have been a busy man, not only playing minor league cricket on the weekends. Brian would have been part of the Youth MiLC Championship, a championship in which the brand Stallions won, and Yasser Mohammed would have been part of some team.
Yeah, 11 teams taking part in a fantastic tournament. Watched a little bit of it. The New Jersey Stallions ended up winning.
It's a good start here from the young Yasser Mohammed. And of course, just to back up, he would have returned from Zimbabwe not too long ago. I know US, of course, heading up to Scotland tomorrow. It's a busy period for people playing at the national level for the US team. Oh, Milind Kumar connects well, and that's a good shot. That has gone for a maximum.
Right into the wheelhouse of Milind Kumar, and he puts that one somewhere out near the crops on the Sweetsford Road end. It was a bit of trying for a bit of a Yorker, but right in golf ball range, and he drives it over the sight screen.
Yeah, good looking shot from Milind Kumar. He goes up to 49. We made mention his highest score this season has been 83 not out. Saw that game up at Howe. Good innings versus the striker. He goes again, straight down the ground. And that brings up the 50. 50 to Milind Kumar. And he comes in the 8th over. Good looking shot from Milind Kumar again.
After 28 balls, and Kumar, and this, again, the Philadelphians trying a little bit something different. As Kumar touches gloves with Liam Plunkett on the other side, raises his bat in acknowledgement towards the dugout. Wonderful from him, and we'll see if he can kick on.
So 6-4 and a couple of sixes. Milind Kumar deciding that he'll come at the top of the order. So far, he scored a 50. Can't ask for better returns from the decision to come at the top of the order, Brian. 71 for 1.
No, very good job, you know, and it's interesting. We just heard Nate, when hearing him talk to some of the newer fans about the opening batsman, you want to be very careful.
So this will complete over number 8, a single into the onside, and after 8 is 72 for 1.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस, इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले। हाँ, तेरे घर लाने का।
1, 2, 3.
So 72 for 1. A bowling change again. And it looks like a Deveshwari Prasad, the left-arm seamer, has been given the ball. Quality bowler. And he comes out of New York. And Brian, this is an underrated bowler. Always gets among the wicket. And he comes in here to join the likes of Yadram, Noman Iftikhar, Raj Patel, Abhiram Valasamagari, and Yasser Mohammed.
Two big fish they're trying to reel in here. Kumar, who is on 50 after 28. Liam Plunkett, who always dangerous, 15 off of 19.
So Prasad starts with giving up a single. Brian, what we've seen earlier on, we made mention New Jersey Stallions, top of the table at the moment, 16 points. The Yorkers comes into this game at 12, and the fact is, while we were on the other game, Empire State Titans has come up to 12 points.
Yeah, they're right behind them, and it looks like this It's 3, does not go into 2.
So ball pulled into the onside by Milind Kumar. He continues to bat well. In fact, look at that. It's gone away for 4. So Milind Kumar getting a short ball and hammering it on the leg side. And that has gone away for 4. 4 more runs to Milind Kumar.
7th 4 of the innings for Kumar. Again, finding the gap on the mid-wicket side and driving that into a good shot of our 2 sponsors, Toyota and Sunoco, alongside Dafa News, bringing you this minor league cricket. And yeah, just to say, you know, the Stallions are going to be in first place leaving the weekend, but I think unless there's something cataclysmic, it's going to be one of these, 2 of these 3 teams.
And Brian, the fact is the Philadelphians, having lost yesterday, has really put them under pressure to really, they must win this game. That's how precious this game is to the Philadelphians.
Well, all the teams that are sort of behind the Empire State Titans at this point, they need to win out and they need to get some help against those 3 top teams to help bring them down to size. And this is one of these fixtures that the lower team needs to win, or else it will be essentially a runaway. As we mentioned, the Stallions have a 1.5 lead essentially on the Yorkers. Best case scenario, they'll have a full game, or worst case scenario, they'll have a full game lead. Worst case, it'll be 2 games.
So ball again eased into the onside. Partnership goes up to 67 with 68 balls remaining, Brian. The Philadelphians, we saw them batting first yesterday, was only able to post 140 runs. Under pressure here to win a must-win situation, they will have to probably post a lot more than 140. Take a look at this one. Good feeling effort here from Devashwari Prasad.
Trying to go to the other end to pick off Liam Plunkett. The throw offline, and very, very lucky not to give up an overthrow.
So Kumar turns this one again into the onside, looking for a couple of runs. He's batting so well today, Milind Kumar. And look at that, picks up a couple more. Good batting here from Milind Kumar.
Finish strong, buddy.
And you know, 140 yesterday, yeah, they would have wanted a better total. So at one point, they were looking in the neighborhood of 150, but this is a team that could barely get, last weekend, barely meet a target of 97 in the first game, and then it only ended up with 96 in the second game against the DC Hawks. So to see them come out with this sort of partnership as we near the halfway point is pretty good.
So ball goes down the leg side and called a wide here from umpire Samuels. So we've got 67 balls to go. This over's gone well here for the Philadelphians. 10 off this over so far. And the Philadelphians stands on 8 points, 12 points to the Manhattan Yorkers. New Jersey Stallions, they're up their tally. And they're up to 14 points. In fact, they're up to 16 points at the moment. So that will complete over number 9. It's 83 for 1. So Milind Kumar, he's been special today. 7 fours and a couple of sixes. Take a look at that one, just helping the ball away. Here's another one pulled into the onside. Another 4 off the bat of Milind Kumar. 7 fours. Take a look at all of them. Ball pulled, eluding the keeper, Raj Darbar. A couple of sixes from Milind Kumar. Here is number 1 off the bowling of Yasir Mohammed. A lovely shot to watch. That would have brought up his 50. And 50 runs to Milind Kumar. He's played exceptionally well. 83 for 1. That's the rest. That's the boys there. Jonathan Fool, Derek Narain. The boys, they're quite happy with the way things have gone here. Big partnership of 7-1 so far, Brad.
Yeah, very big partnership here in the early going. And, you know, the Philadelphians, we mentioned the road home won't get much easier. They'll have the New England Eagles They'll have the return fixture against the Yorkers. They'll play the Stallions one more time. That's on August 13th. And then the home finale against the Empire State Titans right back here on Sunday, August 14th at Exton Park.
So the Philadelphians dugout as Yasser Mohammed will continue. Yasser Mohammed would have gone for 9 off that first over. So action at Exton Park, continuing coverage of the Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Sunoco on Daffin News. Brian will catch all the reports from Daffin News by tomorrow when everything has been put together. So many matches around the country. Milan Kumar remains on 58. Plunkett is on 15. We've seen a big partnership of 71 between Plunkett and Milan Kumar. So ball cut away into the offside. Easy single here to Milan Kumar. They've only lost Derek Narain. We saw a brilliant start from Raj Patel. Other than that, it has been the Philadelphians' show.
Yeah, in the opening, at least, you can see the opening of Kumar is paying dividends on 59 runs. But again, we mentioned bringing in that man, Liam Plunkett, in at number 3, and he's at a steady 15 from 21.
Yes, Brian, Plunkett has played some very key hands. We saw he got 41 against the Manhattan Yorkers. In fact, the Morrisville Raptors, sorry. 41 not out. And he also got a 37 against the DC Hawks earlier on in the season. So he's been among the runs. What we've seen a very drastic approach. Looking for 2. Bhaskar Yadram challenges the ball. And in the end, deciding that 1 will be the call, 86.
Very smart running from these two gentlemen. As the season continues.
And this is a big partnership unfolding here. It's up to 75 at the moment. Ball challenging the fielder there, Raj Patel. It's a good rotation of strike here from Milan Kumar and Liam Plunkett. 2 capable players so far.
And 2 players that wouldn't mind having the strike, but also know when to switch it up and really pose some challenges to this bowling attack.
So this has been a very good over here from Yasser Mohammed. In fact, would have gone for single after the last ball. And so the over comes to an end, 88 for 1 at the end of 10.
Keep working, keep working.
At the halfway mark, the Philadelphians find themselves at 87 for 1. Milan Kumar, 60 off of 36. Doing a fantastic job. You take a look at the Manhattan chart, you see most of the damage. 17 runs coming in that 4th over. And as we mentioned, the Philadelphians changing things up a little bit by going with Milan Kumar at the start of things. And team gets set into position. And Yadram will return with ball in hand.
So good start here from Bhaskar Yadram. We've seen a very good bowling performance from Bhaskar Yadram. Complete all-rounder, got among the runs. played well last week in New York. And he's coming up against a partnership just gone up to 75 so far, Brian. This has been a solid one here for the Philadelphians.
I think irrespective of how the rest of this innings goes for the Philadelphians, they're gonna, it's gained them a lot of confidence. I think not just the two men out in the middle, but also everybody sitting back in the dugout, because they know they're building towards a good total, hoping that we might even see somewhere in the maybe 160, 170 mark.
Bhaskar Yadram comes into the attack here with the most wicket for the Manhattan Yorkers so far. We've seen 17 wickets to Bhaskar Yadram coming into this game. Devashwari Prasad, he has 14, and both of them bowling here in tandem. Ball pulled into the onside. They're running quickly. Could pick up runs here. Raj Patel runs back. I see 2 more runs off the bat of Milind Kumar. He continues to bat well. 56 balls to go.
Hitting to all places of the oval here at Exton Park, and doing a very good job to send them up to 91 for 1. You know, it's, you know, Kumar was amongst really one of the more steady batters that Philadelphians had last year. Of course, they had guys like Derek Pandatin in as well, Narain.
So ball pulled again into the onside. Can't find the gap is Milind Kumar, but he continues to play those aggressive shots, Brian. So you've got to give credit to the bowler here.
Yeah, he's playing. He's going right at the stumps here, and there's playing both players really playing aggressively. The Yorkers attack bowling, trying to take these Philadelphians on and trying to induce a mistake. And so far, Plunkett and Kumar have met every challenge.
So ball driven into the offside. That will complete an over that has only gone for 5 from Bhaskar Yadram. That's a quality over. 11 gone, 93 for 1.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस, इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले। हाँ, तेरे घर लाने का। 1, 2, 3
Another beautiful day here at Exton Park. A little bit cloudier than it was for the main draw of this Philadelphia Summer Cricket Festival. As the ball comes in. It's Muhammad now bowling, and Plunkett works that to the offside, or the onside rather. Come through for a single, 94 for 1. Brian Barish alongside Lenny Achabar. Glad to have your company as well.
Thanks, Brian. And the fact is, Brian, we'll have to wait and see as this partnership continues to develop. Still a lot of batting to come. Abdullah, Jonathan Fu, Shiro Bhatia has been among the runs. This is going to get interesting here as we come down to the next 52 balls.
And even if when they're able to take this wicket, they still have a lot of monsters surrounding the lake.
It'll be like the power of the tundra. We've seen excellent cricket in this year's Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Sunoco. And one of the reasons why that the Philadelphians and Manhattan Yorkers are playing a game at such a fast pace, they've been fueled by what comes out of Sonoko. Oh, that's a good-looking strike from Milind Kumar. Look at that, straight down the ground. And that has gone away for a boundary.
He's hitting them just about everywhere, and he's hitting them down the ground, too.
And so the 100 comes up. The 100 comes up in fine style off the bat of Milind Kumar. He continues to bat well. And this man is all class when he gets going. We've seen some attractive shots from him. Look at that one, straight down the ground. That's 4 more.
Yeah, they've done really, really well. Here, as you see, Milind Kumar.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's talking to Rajdeep Darbar, and that's another cracking shot over the offside again. So 4 more runs to Milind Kumar. He's putting on a display here for the Philadelphians, 104 for 1.
Yeah, here this one, and this says, well, I can hit him straight. Let's go to the offside this time. And puts that one over deep cover. And you see the fluid stroke from him. We've seen a whole bunch from him in this innings.
So 9 fours and a couple of 6s here off the bat of Milind Kumar. And this one, look at this. The ball goes away, and it goes away for another boundary. So 4 more runs to Milind Kumar. It's 107 off the 12th over. And look at diving stop by one of the volunteers. Oh, look at that. He's come up with a good...
Sign him up.
So 12 overs gone. It's 107 for 1.
Milind Kumar sent himself in as one of the openers, and he is having himself a day. And so are those gentlemen over in the very vast shade of the VIP tent here at Exton Park.
Yes, Brian, and that youngster on your left, that's the youngster who saved that ball just now.
Yes, he did a really good job, and now they're tweeting about it.
Well, there we go. Tomorrow, maybe that'll make DAFA news.
Maybe.
So it's 107 for 1, 48 balls still to be bowled. That's the VIP hospitality section. We saw hive of activity yesterday. And Devashwari Prasad will continue. Oh, the catch comes out. Yasser Mohammed takes a well-judged catch. Devashwari Prasad has induced a fault shot here. And another wicket goes on. It's 107 for 2.
Yeah, big wicket here. The wicket of Liam Plunkett, who slugged this one, tried to go down, did not get enough of it, and a sure-handed catch by Mohammed. And so Plunkett has to go, and he goes for 22, but a steady partnership with him and Milind Kumar as Plunkett goes for 32, caught Mohammed, bowled by Prasad.
So big partnership of 95 comes to an end. Abdullah Saeed comes to the middle. And this is the man usually bat at the top of the order. It's going to get interesting here, Brian. 47 balls still to come. And they're going at 8.7 and over.
We'll see how he does. See, in his career, 337 runs from the first 21 matches that he has played. And as you said, Lenny, normally part of this opening tandem alongside Derek Narine, who went on a golden duck relatively early in this innings, and now it'll be up to Saeed to stay in for a little while and build this total up to against this very talented Manhattan Yorkers batting attack.
Let's get this one, let's get this one.
So Devashwari Prasad
Go, Prasad.
has picked up 1 for 11 so far. And this man has always been among the wicket, Brian. He goes around and do his job quite assumingly. He's a quality bowler, always among the wickets. So A little bit of hold up here as Abdullah gets ready, and we are ready for play. It's a good delivery, can't score. Good ball here to Abdullah facing his first ball, Brian.
Be interesting to see with Abdullah here how the dynamic changes, what the approach is from these two. With Milan Kumar on 65, see what his tactics will be, what he'll instruct. As you see the wicket one more time, again, a pretty elementary drive and a nice catch.
Yeah, big partnership would have come to an end. A 95-run partnership from Liam Plunkett to Milan Kumar. Good news for the Philadelphians. Milan Kumar is still out in the middle. Abdullah has come to join him. And so far, this has been a very good over here from Devashwari Prasad. Yeah, we see our good friend Zubin Sarkari having a bite. These men have worked hard to really put these events together. So he deserves a good bite there, Brian.
One good bite deserves another. And you can see there's a pretty steady crowd building up here. Not as much in number as yesterday, but still a hearty crowd here to watch the home team Philadelphians here at Exton Park.
So ball pulled into the onside. Too short here from Devashwari Prasad. And that may have gone upstairs. So 6 runs off the bat of Milan Kumar. It's 114 for 2.
Milan Kumar once again giving this one the treatment. As Lenny said, probably a little on the short side, right in the wheelhouse, and sent out onto the road.
Yeah, massive shot from Milan Kumar. And all of a sudden, this was going pretty well for Devashwari Prasad, but not with that ball. There we go. Spectators watching the game, enjoying the festivity here at Exton Park. And that will complete over number 13. So 13 gone, it's 114 for 2. So we saw a big knock from Liam Plunkett. He got 32. And look at Milan Kumar. He's up to 71 from 43, carrying the fight here for the Philadelphians. They really need a win, but they will have to get past some well put together Manhattan Yorkers.
It's a good day for some ice cream. And it's a good day for the folding chair, a cold liquid refreshment of some sort. And it's great to see the fans out here at Exton Park. They've really tried to build up the atmosphere here in suburban Philadelphia, really try to get their footprint in this Philadelphia sporting scene, one that is known far and wide for their passion. And great to see them come out and support not only cricket in the USA, but minor league as well.
So Derek Narain and Jonathan Fu in the Players Pavilion. There is Trinson Carmichael on your left. And so 114 for 2, 42 balls still to be bowled. And here is Noman Iftikhar. Starts pretty well, ball outside the off-stump, ball goes through to Rajdeep Darbar. And we come down to the last 41 balls here, Brian.
I mentioned there's a lot of action happening across minor league cricket, minorleaguecricket.com for take a look at what's happening with all 26 teams. A lot of games happening today. More games happening on the West Coast, including the Silicon Valley Strikers, the only undefeated team left in the league.
So ball played into the onside. Abdullah picks up another run. We come down to the last 40 balls. Noman Iftikhar, he's a quality bowler. He's been around New Jersey cricket for some time. And you'll watch Brian when he gets to the top of his mark, he makes that full 360. That's his trademark run-up. A little bit like one of the Morkel boys out of South Africa. Let's watch him do this. He gets to the top of his mark and makes that 360. And that's when you know he's ready to bowl, like one of the Morkel boys from South Africa. 40 balls remaining. Here we go. Noman Iftikhar. If he doesn't do that, he misses his run. I would want to think it's Morning Morkel. There we go. He misses his run, and Brian Kane comes out with one of those famous dead ball signal. I've always wondered, what does that mean to the scorer?
That means nothing's happening. Completely ignore what just happened. Nothing to see here. No, no. Like Leslie Nielsen.
So Milan Kumar runs into the onside again, running quickly, challenging the fielder. It's a good batting here from Milan Kumar. He continues to motor along.
And you mentioned Iftikhar's run-up. It's interesting to see the routines that all of these different bowlers have. You mentioned the horseshoe that he does, but some of them, they have a wide run-up. Some of them, they just go about their business. It's all about personality.
And we saw the signal from Brian Kane, and we were sitting in the dugout, and we were saying, to be an umpire, you really have to have the hands and even the feet play so much part in signaling to the scorers. And we made the point that if you don't have arms, for example, you can't be an umpire because there's so many signals that involves the arm.
Brian, when he does a 6, he looks like he's doing a yoga pose.
So big shot attempted here by Abdullah. Saeed doesn't go too well. Ball goes through to Darbar. 37 balls still to be bowled. It's 118 for 2. And they're going 8.5 runs. We saw in the last 10 balls or so, things have gone Yorker's way. We've seen some tidy overs being put in. One by Devashwari Prashad, and then, of course, this one has gone for only 4 from Noman Iftikhar. Abdullah Saeed has used up 6 balls already. Looking for a couple of runs into the offside. That may not be the case. And so that will complete over number 14. After 14, it's 119 for 2. Couple runs there for Abdullah.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस, इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले। हाँ, तेरे घर लाने का।
My son is so soft-spoken. Everyone says he's so good-looking, and he never forgets to call.
Hi, Mom. Born for your true self. The 2022 Tundra. Toyota. Let's go places.
It's on for young and old here at Exton Park.
So chance of a run out, the throw comes in, and there we go. So Abdullah finally goes. It's 119 for 3.
Trying to be probably a little bit too aggressive here, but Abdullah not able to get back, and a quick throw in by the Yorkers here, as that one probably is in that yes-no category. A throw to the non-striker's end, and Abdullah is out by a good 4 feet. So a small cameo from the former opener turned number 4 man. Abdullah has to go after being run out, and they are 119 for 3, the Philadelphians.
So Jonathan Fu comes to the middle. We've got 35 balls remaining, and Brian, you thought with a partnership of 95 between Liam Plunkett and Milan Kumar would have set the stage for the likes of Abdullah Saeed and now Jonathan Fu, but we saw Abdullah Saeed struggled during his short stay out in the middle. With 35 balls remaining, this might be a good launch pod for Jonathan Fu.
Well, Fu last season, he was essentially their talisman, and when you saw him come in, you knew you were going to see some fireworks. Really has lost some of the edge this season. We haven't seen him launch the ball as much as he had, but he is still ever dangerous. The man from Guyana, who's played in the CPL previously, and who is really, really, really good at what he does. And you see 563 runs from his 24 matches. A man who knows how to put bats a ball and could really escalate the score for this Philadelphian side.
Yeah, Brian, you're right on that. Jonathan Fu, highest score this season, has only been 31. And he has set the bar so high for himself. Perhaps that score of 31s are not going to cut it so far. We know he's a lot better batsman than what he has returned so far.
And it's different when you come in the when you come in so early. We saw him come in really early yesterday. He came in at number 3.
So we'll take a look at the dismissal of Abdullah Saeed. A big mix-up between Milind Kumar and Abdullah Saeed. So here we go, ball played into the offside. A good bit of work there and a big miscommunication. See the fielder would have picked up the ball. It appeared to be. So good looking shot here from Milind Kumar. Has he found the gap? Yes, he has. So 4 more runs off the bat of Milind Kumar. It's 125 on the board.
And again, finding the gap and finding it sweetly going behind point. And Milind Kumar with plenty of time left in this innings. May we see a century from him?
Well, he's batted very, very well. Brian, he's up to 79, you never know. Oh, pulled away, through square leg. More runs there for Milind Kumar. And look at that, it's gone away for 4 more. So 4 more runs to Milind Kumar. He's opened up here, and he goes up to 79.
And the interesting thing, Lenny, is he's hitting the ball hard. This is a very thick outfield. Some of these balls that we've seen, especially earlier in the day, that would have been 4s on any other, have gone for maybe 1 and 2, but he's hitting the ball hard, and that's the most important part.
So that will complete the 15th over. And after 15, Milind is batting well. It's 130 for 3.
Thank you. All right, James, let's go. $16.
Well, 5 overs remain in this contest. Jonathan Fu, new to the crease, alongside Milind Kumar, who's not done too much wrong in this inning so far. He'll be eyeing a century. What a performance has been from him from the very onset. Opening the batting today, squeezing this one in the gap again. Will be more runs. On a very slow field, so he's been able to save it. Keep it to just 2, but whatever he's touched today, Milind Kumar has turned to gold. Matthew Aichibar alongside me as well. Double change in commentary. And of course, well, the Philadelphians are much better position than they were in yesterday, where they only got to 140 before they were bowled out inside the 19th over. But it's been all because of Milind Kumar and the way he's gone about things, commanded real authority. It's been some real good situational awareness from him, managed the risks he's taken. And the Philadelphians look like a completely different batting lineup now.
Yeah, completely different, the Philadelphians, compared to where they were yesterday.
Well set up by, of course, Kumar and Liam Plunkett. That partnership worth 95 runs from just 66 balls. And that's been the main difference. Oh, very full delivery, which has shot Jonathan Fu on the hand. And he could have been run out. Milind Kumar, Fu dropped the bat immediately. And that could have been disastrous for the Philadelphians because Kumar took off, wanted the single. Remember, you can still be run out off a no ball. A very full beamer, as they like to call it.
Yeah, catching Jonathan Fu. And Milind Kumar was in trouble at the non-striker's end.
Well, Matt, I can tell you it would have been disastrous had Milind Kumar be run out off a no ball on 87.
Yeah, not a great way to get out, run out off a no ball, especially when he's been batting as well as he has so far.
I think even if he had collected it and then hit the stumps, would have been short. So a big let-off for the Philadelphians and for Milind Kumar. Seems to be okay, Jonathan Fu. Yeah, the scoring rate has increased in the last couple of overs. 16 runs from the last 2. Pace off from Iftikhar. Big swing and a miss from Jonathan Fu. So the key will be to get Milind Kumar facing as many deliveries as possible. He's faced 51. It's been brilliant, really brilliant in this inning so far. Pulled away. They did well though to keep that scoring rate up, Matt, in terms of the last 5 overs 10 to 15 in the middle, where so often we see teams decreasing, especially after they lost the wicket of Liam Plunkett, but they were still able to score 43 runs, just under a touch under 9 runs per over.
Yeah, and that's been largely thanks to Milind Kumar, who played a brilliant knock so far on 88. And Liam Plunkett accompanied him nicely as well.
So powerful down the ground. He's got it very straight. But of course, there is that long on fielder who does a good job to run around and save it to just 1. Milind Kumar, though, all day. It's an interesting move when he came out as an opener in place of Abdullah Saeed today. And clearly it's one that has worked and probably something that the Philadelphians can try going forward, because he's batted the entire innings. And now with 25 balls remaining in this first innings, the Philadelphians will be really looking at 116, even 170, going at 8.65 runs per over.
Yeah, they still feel that they're in a healthy position, especially given Milind is still out there with Jonathan Fu and batting to come.
Doing well, Jonathan Fu, because he's usually a very aggressive player, but realizing the fact that they just lost the wicket, they don't need to go too hard yet. Still 4 overs remaining, 1-3-7 for 3. Second time Milind Kumar has gone past the 50-run mark, but yet to get 100 in this minor league. So far, he's well on course. He's been really impressive, Matt, because he's only been dismissed 8 out of the 10 times, but also his average over 40 with the bat in hand, a strike rate of 144. He's been a real stand-up with the bat for the Philadelphians, and still, when you talk to him, he's still disappointed with his returns and still wants more. Tells you what a good player and always very hungry. He averaged 46 in 9 first-class games back in India.
And was also the leading run scorer in the Ranji Trophy a few years back. Over 1,000 runs in that competition was Milind Kumar, so he comes in with very high expectations. And so far in today's game especially, he's shown that quality. 89 of 52 deliveries has helped the Philadelphians to where they are now. And you just wonder, him opening the batting definitely seems to be a genius move.
Sorry, I said 9 first class, much as what I meant is 9 first class hundreds with that average of 46. So we're such an experienced performer. Basket Yadram into the attack. Good start by Yadram. He's got this unorthodox action. Yadram would have obviously represented the Empire State Titans last season. Picked up 14 wickets in 2021. Was able to concede just 6.5 runs per over in terms of the economy rate. This year, though, boy, has he been special with the ball in hand. He's already picked up 17, already gone past that tally for the entire season.
And the Bhaskar Yadram as well, former West Indies under-19.
This worked into the onside. Yeah, Yadram representing the under-19 team at the 2018 World Cup. But also played 3 first-class games in the Caribbean for Guyana. So he's a young prospect who the Yorkers have invested in. They've brought him in. I can tell you he's very hungry for success, and boy has he had it in this tournament in terms of his all-round ability. 199 runs as well, a strike rate of 150. There we go, the VIP. Very important people. Good to see the fans out in their numbers, watching the action here at this Philadelphia Cricket Festival. There's been a good couple of overs though from the Yorkers. They haven't conceded a boundary. Scoring rate has just come down to much closer to 8 runs per over. What total are you looking forward to chasing the Yorkers, Matt, if you're the Yorkers?
Well, if I'm the Manhattan Yorkers from this stage, perhaps limit them to just run a ball, try and keep them at 160. If they can go out run a ball here, the Philadelphians, they'll get to 159. If you can keep them to that type of rate with Milind Kumar, or even better yet, get rid of Milind Kumar, I think that'll be a job well done for the Manhattan Yorkers, given the start that the Philadelphians had.
Yeah, what the Yorkers will be happy about is that they've got Gajanan Singh, obviously, back into the team today, and tons of batting. And you look at Yasir Mohammed at the top of the order, John Campbell, the West Indies opener, Bhaskar Yadram himself, who's struck a few big blows. Of course, Danish Patel, coming off of a big 50 last weekend. So they do have a lot of batting. Also, they know that teams chasing have won all 3 times over this weekend. So if they can just keep it to 160 or less, I think they'll feel really good about their chances. Kumar moves into the moves into the 90s. Will be eyeing that first 100. He's been a real statement player in this tournament. Good delivery from Yadram. Excellent on the money. And a very cheap over. Just 4 singles from it. 1 for 1 for 3.
1, 2, 3.
Took that last corner pretty quick.
Sir, I need 1 hand on the roof, 1 hand on the pump.
Timeout for Sunoco Go rewards.
Keep pumping.
With new Sunoco Go rewards, when you fuel, you save, because rewards come first.
We're back at Exton Park in Pennsylvania, of course. The final game of this Philadelphia Cricket Festival. Boy, has it been an enjoyable weekend just to see the fans out. Oh, yes, this is beautiful weather for cricket. She's enjoying it. On the mound, just cooling it, as they like to say in Barbados, man.
Yeah, it's been a great weekend for cricket, for excitement, for just the atmosphere here at Exton Park has been exceptional. And just in general, this Eastern Division, we've been blessed by good weather so far. We haven't had a single game reduced or abandoned.
Runs, and 4 of them for Jonathan Full, who's been very quiet in his first 7 deliveries, but too much width on offer is going to make you pay. He's a very powerful player, Full.
Yeah, not the intended shot, but he'll take what he can get. Boundary off the bat of Jonathan Fu. Not a great start for Raj Patel, who's already been on the expensive side. Comes back into the attack, and it's more of the same.
Down the ground, and yeah, just been very easy for Fu. Anytime there's width, also with the extra pace of Raj Patel, can just use that to his advantage. I think the wicket that they need to get though is Milind Kumar, because if he bats to the 20th over, he just has the ability to just find the gaps, even on this slowish outfield. And even though he's been to 56 deliveries, one of the fittest players in this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship. Such a born run scorer, born performer, and a match winner. Oh, there again, slower delivery, just beating the outside edge of Kumar. It'll be interesting though in terms of where the captain goes for the remaining overs. Noman Iftikhar's got one. He's just conceded 7.5 runs per over. Valis Magari has also 1 over. Bhaskar Yajam with 1. So those could be options for the captain to go to. Prasad has got 1 as well. He's taken 2 wickets. Deveshwari Prasad. Where would you go for these remaining 2 overs, Matt?
I think I'd probably back myself with Yadram. For sure will be 1. The toss-up now is between Valisa Magari and Deveshwari Prasad. I think if you're looking at economy-wise, Valisa Magari could be the better option, but then on the other hand, Deveshwari Prasad, in terms of just that bowling experience, has bowled a lot more, has gotten a lot more wickets than Valisa Magari has in the tournament.
Bhaskar Yajam, the all-rounder, he's been all about the wickets, and he'll have a very important over to bowl. He picks that up, picks it up off the middle. Jonathan Fu, a man with immense power and ability at this phase of the innings. From the time it left the bat, you just knew could be the biggest 6 that we've seen all weekend.
Massive strike from Jonathan Fu, gets that one. It's been a very tough day for Raj Patel, and he continues to be hit and hit quite easily. Fu launching that one a long way back indeed. This turning out to be another good over for the Philadelphians.
I just wonder about this decision to bowl Raj Patel, because he didn't need to go there, the captain, Darbar, because he had overs from the likes of Prasad and obviously Bhaskar Yajam, who we expect to bowl the next over, but he also had Valisa Magari as well as Yasir Mohammed. So 6 options used.
Noman Iftikhar as well.
Yeah, exactly. So interesting move by the captain, which hasn't paid off for him. 12 runs in the over so far. This time in the offside, and it just gets it over that mid-off fielder. This is good stuff from the Philadelphians, and Jonathan Fu being cognizant of the fact that field up in the circle. Knew once he got it up and over, it would be more runs. Extremely expensive over comes to an end.
Yeah, Jonathan Fu stepping down the track, hammering that one, just 1 bounce into the fence for 4.
157 for 3.
Got you. 2 overs left, guys. Keep up the momentum here. Let's go.
Well, 6 options being used for Rajdeep Darbar, all bowling 3 overs apiece, which now gives me the luxury of having any one of the 6 bowl the last 2 overs. Yajam has the ball in hand, as so often your strike bowlers tend to bowl that penultimate over. And then, of course, he has a decision to make in terms of the final over. So a good problem to have for the skipper. Of course, the Yorkers looking for another win. They're currently in 2nd position in this Eastern Conference, 6 wins and 3 losses. And after the Stallions won today, they'll want to win to just stay there. In the air, there is a field in the deep. And it is taken. Bhaskar Yajam does the job. So often this man has been in the wickets. He had the field out in the deep for that pull shot and just tried to flick it. Couldn't get the elevation on it.
Yeah, and it's the end of Milind Kumar. Brilliant knock from him. picks out Neil Patel out in the deep. Bhaskar Yadaram coming in wicketless into this over, but strikes right at the death and takes a massive wicket. Millen goes for 92. It's 157 for 4.
Yeah, crucial wicket being taken for the Yorkers to begin this penultimate over, because had he batted one more over, could have been problematic, but he'll be disappointed. Milind Kumar, another score past 75, but unable to get that 100. His highest score, though, of this 2022 Toyota Minor League. One that will give him a lot of confidence opening the batting for the first time. Shiranshu Bhatia got a good small cameo of 27 yesterday. Probably in his ideal time. Last 2 overs, can just play very freely. He's got Jonathan Fu at the other end, who's struck a couple of lusty blows.
Yeah, with 11 deliveries remaining, and Chiru Bhatia coming in, realizes there's not much more to it. He's just got to go out and swing the bat around. Still 6 wickets in hand. So they are free to take as many risks as they want here, the Philadelphians.
Rolls his fingers over it well. Bhaskar Yadaram, such an unorthodox action. Remember watching him as a youngster in the Under-19 World Cup for the West Indies. Was also used at the top of the order. And he just almost planned this so well to Milind Kumar. Went into the surface, knew that he loves that small, what do you call that? A small help along the leg side, and he just had one fielder to beat in the onside. Unfortunately for Milind Kumar, picked him out. So new batter to the middle, Shiranshu Bhatia. But they feel very good about this, the Philadelphians. Getting to this total, still 8 deliveries remaining in the innings. Sorry, make that 10 deliveries remaining in the innings. Run the ball gets them to close to 170. Yeah, they did struggle with the bat in the last couple of games, Matt. Obviously 140 all out yesterday. Should just be a couple of runs, but Raj Patel in the deep keeps it to just 2. Yeah, the Philadelphians has been an interesting road for them. They have struggled with the bat. 140 yesterday, then last weekend in both games. In the first one, they chased down 96 against the DC Hawks, but in the last over, and they lost 9 wickets for that 97. And then the next day, they were beaten by 60 runs, kept to 96 for 9 in 19.1 overs. So they have struggled pretty badly with the bat in hand. This will be a good return to confidence for their batting lineup.
Yeah, and it's something none of us... This one in the air from Chiru Bhatia, and it goes all the way, so another maximum. This time Chiru Bhatia wasting little time and getting in on the action, and that's the type of aggression you need at this stage.
Bring balls, because that one has gone out the park. Won't be possible to find. Yadaram just getting too full. And Bhatia, knowing that he's going pace off, predicting it, had all the time in the world to just dispatch it. And all of a sudden now, you get much closer to that 170 mark. Just what's needed in these last 5 overs. New balls coming out, reinforcements for the innings.
But yeah, going back to the point of Philadelphians' history this year of batting collapses, it's something that shouldn't be happening to a team like the Philadelphians on this constant of a basis as it has been happening, given they bat so deep.
But I think, obviously, the playoffs is a long way away for them. It's a mountain to climb if they're to reach there and be in those last 2 teams. Obviously, currently sitting in 6th position in the Eastern Conference. But I like the way that they've constructed this batting lineup today, because obviously they started with Narayan and Milind Kumar. Kumar, just from the very first delivery, timed the ball so well. And Liam Plunkett came in at number 3, allowed them to maximize the power play. The 2 put on a 95-run partnership. And then it allows the hitters, Jonathan Fu, Bhatia, to come into the back end. And so help pile on the run. So I like the way that they've gone about things today. And maybe this is a blueprint on how they can go sort of in the rest of this tournament.
Yeah, clearly the new batting order has worked. Milind right at the top. Liam Plunkett going in at 3. But still, A job to be done here by Fu and Chiru Bhatia right at the end.
Full toss again. And a run-out chance to the bowlers. And had he hit, he would have been gone. Kachanan Singh can't believe he missed. But he would have been gone by a long way. Bhatia.
Very good over this for the Philadelphians. 7 deliveries remaining. Here's another look at that run-out chance. Yeah, would have been gone by quite some distance. Chiru Bhatia.
Just one delivery remaining. Yadram, can he close it out? Will want a wicket. Already 11 runs have come from it. Top edge and over the infield. More salt in the wounds for the Manhattan Yorkers. That won't help their cause as the 170 comes up at the end of the 19th over. It's been all the Philadelphians in the first passage of this game. Just one over remaining. It's a good start by Milind Kumar.
Last one, guys.
What a knock was that. Cracking innings, 92. 92 from just 59 deliveries and well supported by Plunkett. Just about ran a ball for his 32. And now Jonathan Fu and Shiranshu Bhatia. So tons of options for Rajdeep Darbar, the captain, to choose. And he's going with Raj Patel for the final over, who's conceded over 13 runs per over. This is interesting. Rajdeep Darbar. Tell me about the thinking here, Matt.
I really don't know. I mean, we saw Raj Patel on plenty of occasions last year not bowl a single ball, but come in around the 16th over. So clearly he is known by the Yorkers as a death specialist. But I think bowling 3 overs for 40 runs, I think you've got to question death specialist or not. The economy rate has just not been there for Raj Patel, especially in the previous over he bowled.
32 runs from his last 2 overs. Starts well on the money with a Yorker. Just keeps it to 1. Jonathan Fu wanting the strike. Happy to just stay for 1. They've gone past 170. The Philadelphians. And already, Matt, without the innings even being completed, it's the 3rd highest total of the tournament. They chased down 189 against the Empire State Titans earlier this season, then posted 192 against the Cavaliers. But since then, the batting has really struggled with the injuries to Kareem Gore. Over cover, this man is so strong, Jonathan Fu. What a shot, what a cricket shot that is, all the way for a maximum. Stand and deliver, Fu.
Yeah, brilliant stuff from Jonathan Fu. And you could see his intentions are clear. He's going to go after Raj Patel. We saw him do it to him in the previous over. And now again, again from Raj Patel. And we saw how strong Fu was. And that is just a brilliant shot. Flies up to 30.
I can't understand this because you had so many options. Iftikhar. 6 more. 6 and another one from Jonathan Fu. Actually trickles into the boundary just. But nonetheless, it's runs for the Philadelphians. This time short, predicting it. And just hitting it in front of square, Jonathan Fu. 2 bounces, 1 bounce before it gets over the rope.
Yeah, Jonathan Fu really looking to maximize this over. Adding insult to injury here on Raj Patel. 3.3 overs for 51 for him now.
But I can tell you, it's not a good look as Fu wants a strike. Not a good look, Matt, when you have 2 bowlers who've conceded less than 8 runs and over. In fact, Valisa Magari has only conceded 6 runs per over in his first 3. Never was given the ball again. Raj Patel going at over 14.5. But clearly the captain, Darbar's likes to use him at the end of the innings, but I wonder to what extent he's costing his team. 2 deliveries remaining in the innings. Cracking, just cracking from Fu, and it goes past the man for another boundary in the over. Things going from bad to worse for the Manhattan Yorkers.
Really don't understand this at all, and Jonathan Fu clearly thinking that this is the over and this is the bowler that he wants to target. 15 has come off the over already. Final ball coming up. 186 to Philadelphians. What a target, what a batting display so far.
6 and 2 fours in the over, as well as a single. 15 runs from it, and still 1 crucial delivery remaining. Philadelphia is looking to break that trend at this Philadelphia Cricket Festival of teams chasing and winning. Dot ball to finish. So anticlimactic end to what has been an innings full of power. Started by Milind Kumar, finished off well by Jonathan Fu. What a cameo, 38 from 18 towards the end. And the Philadelphians will be very happy with this. Their 3rd highest run total of this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship.
Yeah, very good work there by Milind Kumar especially. He did get help with Liam Plunkett and Jonathan Fu right there at the back end. Questions to be asked, definitely for the Yorkers. But there we go, another look at the batting card. Milind Kumar up the order right at the top. And boy, did he provide them. 92 from him. And then Jonathan Fu and Liam Plunkett hitting the 30s as well. And Chiru Bhatia played a couple of good shots as well.
Yeah, it was brilliant. And then the bowler as well, they just lost their way. They were able to control 87 after the first 10 is not out of reach. But boy, did they just go berserk in the final 10. In the last 5 especially. Raj Patel is so expensive. Picking up 2 wickets was Deveshwari Prasad. Which will mean now that the Yorkers, if they are to maintain the trend of teams chasing and winning here at Exton Park, will need 187 runs to win at over 9 runs per over. Whilst they do have the battle length to do it, it will take some chasing on what's been a slow outfield. Well, here are how things went for the Philadelphians. New batting lineup for them today, new opening pair. Milind Kumar starting, and from the very first ball, you just knew something was different. The way he timed the ball, the way he middled it to all parts in those first 6 overs. You knew if the Yorkers weren't able to get him out, would be trouble. They did get Derek Narain out though. Very first delivery, a good short ball from Raj Patel. But after that, Patel traveled the distance. Milind Kumar using those flicks, those strong wrists so well. Liam Plunkett came in at number 3, and the 2 put on a 95-run partnership between them. That was possibly the shot of the day, shot of the tournament. Right back over the bowler's head, straight as an arrow, and all the way for 6. Milind Kumar, it was just his day. Whatever he touched turned to gold. So skilled at using the different dimensions of the field. The fielding in the end there by the youngster. Milind Kumar, 92 from 59 deliveries, 9 boundaries, 3 sixes. They had no answers for him, the Yorkers. And when he went big against the spin, there was no stopping it, no catching it. Got to his half century, and the team was in a real dominant position at 130 for 3 after the 15th over. And he just continued keeping that momentum, steering in the right direction for the Philadelphians. He loves to go straight. So powerful down the ground because of that great technique, great top hand. Came down the track a couple of times to Yasser Mohammed. And was able to get it in the gaps. Such a class player to watch. Top class player that we have in this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship. Plunkett, he came and eventually held out at long on. But it was a good partnership. Damage had been done. Milind Kumar continued. Entertaining for all the fans in attendance. And then Saeed Abdullah. A small miscommunication at the bowler's end was the easy run out. The Yorkers just thought possibly could come back into the game from here, but no. Charan Shubatia and Jonathan Fu had other ideas. Kumar just was not fazed by anything happening around him. Fu came and got in on the fun straight away. Outside edge, which went down to the boundary for 4 well direction, but then the power just dumping it to all parts. That was far, far back. Down the track the next time. And over mid-off. Took 16 runs from Raj Patel's third over. Bhaskar Yajam finally able to work out a plan to get Milind Kumar, but probably was just too little too late. Chiranshu Bhatia came and struck one, a big blow for 6. Yajam, who's been in the wickets, did travel the distance today. Uncharacteristically for him, because he's been a standout in this Atlantic Conference. And it's been because of the power, sheer power, brute force of Jonathan Fu. 38 from 18, the perfect cameo for his team. He's able to get some 24 runs from the last 2 overs. Squeeze one past, and the performance the Philadelphians will feel very good about. The target then, 187 for victory for the Manhattan Yorkers. Don't go too far, because if we judge on the recent history, this Manhattan Yorkers team are a very good team chasing, and they've got the body length to do it. We see you soon in a few minutes' time.
You're watching the Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, presented by Sunoco. You're watching the Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, presented by Sunoco.
Well, there you have it, 187 for 4, all because of destruction power. First by Milind Kumar, 92 from 59. Then Jonathan Fu towards the end, 38 from just 18 balls. Striking some 2 maximums and 5 boundaries, striking at over 200 as well. A real quality knock from him, giving the Philadelphians a lot to work with in terms of the bowling. Well, 2 wickets for Deveshwari Prasad, but was only given 3 overs. Bhaskar Yajam also in the wickets, as well as Raj Patel, who was conceded 55 runs, over 13.5 runs per over. So the target now, 188 needed for the Manhattan Yorkers. Remember, a team that's in second place and have been one of the stronger teams in this Atlantic Conference. Brian Barish alongside me. Brian, how do the 2 openers for the Manhattan Yorkers, John Campbell and Danish Patel, it seems, go about chasing this?
Well, it's interesting that the highest chase that they faced during the season was against the Morrisville Raptors on July 4th. They had 190. They could only muster 183 on that occasion. They're going to need to be probably aggressive but smart at the very beginning. They want to try and match what the Philadelphians did on their power play and go from there.
Yeah, spot on. Liam Plunkett with the new ball in hand. Such a dangerous player. Plunkett, former, of course, World Cup winner with England back in 2019. So much experience. Did start with that new ball beautifully yesterday. And he'll be looking to do the same. Does have the confidence of a big score under his belt. Have seen some big scores around the league today. The Morrisville Raptors posting 185. The Atlanta Lightning 193. So good to see runs flowing in this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship. John Campbell. Again, you mentioned the global partners, the likes of Toyota, Sunoco, and Dafa News. Has been able to bring players like John Campbell, who's played 20 test matches at the top of the order for the West Indies. Comes to the middle now, Campbell. He's had a good minor league season as well. 149 runs in the 7 innings, averaged over 30. Striked at over 200, so you know already what his intentions will be. He's a left-hander. Interesting to see the field that Liam Plunkett will bowl with. Plunkett already, of course, picked up 8 wickets in this minor league. He's been there with both bat and ball for the Philadelphians. Here we go, first delivery of this second innings. Deep mid-wicket fielder down on the boundary. So it'll just be a single straight away for John Campbell. Danish Patel comes into strike. Amanda got 59 from just 48 deliveries last weekend against the Eagles in a losing cause. But he's in really good touch. And he'll be a wicket that the Philadelphians would identify, knowing the danger that he possesses. Yasser Mohammed has opened the batting for this team, but not in this situation. They need runs and need them quickly. 213 runs in the 9 innings so far. Also averaging over 30 in this tournament. Good length early on. Yesterday, we saw him be a lot fuller, Liam Plunkett, trying to swing that ball away from the right-hander. Starts very straight this time, just be a single. Good start.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how he utilizes that swing. It does tend to take many batters by surprise. But a player like Campbell, who also has played at the test level, will know what's coming from, even from somebody with Plunkett's experience.
Again, very straight in terms of the line, looking to attack the stumps. Yeah, and Plunkett just 3 singles. Won't mind this too much. The Philadelphians is an interesting field he has. Just the 2 fielders, remember, outside the circle. So the right hand, he's got that step in place. You can see there a man on that deep mid-wicket boundary, as well as one at the 3rd boundary. So good delivery. You can see just trying to get that bit of a wave movement with the angle to the right-hander bowling over the wicket. The ball naturally will go in, but then he's so good at using those strong wrists and just pushing the ball away at the last minute. What I do like, though, about this approach from Liam Plunkett, you don't see this very often from bowlers. He's bowling over the wicket to the left-handed John Campbell. Getting a bit of nice mileage there, Brian Barish.
Hello. No, it's good to actually see him change this attack. And like you said, not very often you see somebody come over the wicket to the left-hander.
Hasn't quite got it, John Campbell. He's just able to get it over the infield. Will be 2. Yeah, what I like about this approach from Plunkett is that when you're bowling over the wicket to the left-handed batter, it pushes the ball across him and it brings slip into play. So often we see bowlers, right arm seamers, come around the wicket to angle the ball in because of the worry of just giving the batter too much width. But Plunkett is backing himself to be exactly where he needs to be, probably very full on the stumps, bringing the outside edge into play. Courageous. Very ambitious from John Campbell. The man that struck at over 200 in terms of his 9 innings so far. It's been a huge addition, though, for this Manhattan Yorkers team. End of the first over, 6 for none. Plenty of batting to come. Gajanan Singh, Bhaskar Yajam, who's been in the runs. Of course, the captain, Darbar himself. Yasser Mohammed, very capable. Seen him open the batting at times in this tournament.
Bit of a minefield here, especially you saw the Philadelphians earlier this season against the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers, unable to defend a target of 100, a total of 192. So the Yorkers might have their tails up here, but still very early in their innings.
So from the other end, Milind Kumar. Haven't seen him bowl too often in this in this minor league. So I think maybe with the left-handed John Campbell, maybe just backing himself as an option. Of course, with his off spin, trying to spin the ball away. Very interesting from the skipper. But so often we see when a batter scores runs, almost like he just has that golden arm, golden touch. Can he prize a couple wickets for his team? Glorious from Patel. In good touch with 59 last weekend. And what a way to greet the opposition captain.
Yeah, well struck as we watch this one again. Again, trying to head for that off stump, but met beautifully and sent into the thickets for a massive boundary. It's very possible they have a little bit of a search party for that one, except they found it. Lost a lot of balls out there in that creek area over the course of this weekend.
Similar area. There is a deep mid-wicket fielder, but he's got enough timing on it to take it all the way for 6. Back-to-back maximums. These are the type of overs that help you when you're chasing such a big total.
And that's what they need to do in order to do this. And once again, this one a little bit higher and able to connect nicely and send that one over the mid-wicket boundary for another maximum.
Well fielded in the end by those in the crowd. But Milind Kumar, first 2 deliveries have gone for 12 runs. Danish Patel not worrying, taking too much time to get in and start the attack. They need to go out over 9 runs and over. They've already got 13 from the first 2 deliveries. got a very capable John Campbell. Anytime you have a test player at the other end, you know you're a good player, a good cricketer. And that's played in 20 test matches for the West Indies. Just came off of a very good series against Bangladesh. And of course, does have one international experience as well. 6 ODIs, an average of 49 for John Campbell. Pure timing from the international player, John Campbell, straight back over the bowler's head. This has been a very expensive over from Milind Kumar.
And perhaps maybe second guessing this one again, heading for the off stump and just sending that one deep down the track. And another 6, the third of the over.
So third maximum in the over. All of a sudden the rate has gone to 15 per over. And again, the search party begins for that ball in the tall grass, almost as tall as Abdullah Saeed. As he disappears.
Never to be heard from again.
Maybe.
Well, Danish Patel is the reason why this over has been so big. Very first delivery, he struck for 6. Then the second one was over mid-wicket. John Campbell, as soon as he got on strike, well, he said, no, I want some of the fun as well. Much quicker, much flatter, but same result, 6 more. So the off-spin option not working so far. He starts to slip in place. In the air, there is a man in the circle, but he evades him. And it's going to be another boundary, dealing in boundaries and maximums, this Manhattan Yorkers team.
That's the risk you run bowling this way against a team that can put up a lot of runs. And once again, it's another one, finding this one down the track once again and sending that one the long on.
May have just come off the top edge. John Campbell felt he missed out on that occasion, but what a big over that is. 23 runs come from it. It's 29 for none.
My son, he's so soft-spoken. Everyone says he's so good-looking, and he never forgets to call.
Hi, Mom. Born for your true self. The 2022 Tundra. Toyota. Let's go places.
The Philadelphians posted 155 innings. The Yorkers needed 188 to win.
What got into you?
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. Fuel your best.
So the recovery job needing to be done for the Philadelphians after conceding 23 runs in that second over. Liam Plunkett gets the ball again. Good to see the families out in their numbers at Exton Park for this weekend, the Festival of Cricket. Glorious from this man, Danish Patel. Does not put a wrong foot. So good at just using the pace, knowing that that third fielder on the boundary is very wide. This is scintillating, a blistering hot start for the Manhattan Yorkers.
And they seem to be matching what Milind Kumar was doing. Patel doing a really good job to get that thick edge and steer that away for 4, and that's exactly what you do. As you see, Plunkett stretching out. It's what the Manhattan Yorkers would have needed in order to catch up against this big total.
Well, Danish Patel has already crossed the 200-run mark for the season, averaging over 30. He's already got 2 half centuries as well. The thing that would have bothered him is the strike rate. It's only been 101 in the first 9 innings. The way he started here is a step in the right direction. Plunkett just missing his run-up. Yeah, the way Patel coming on off the back of that 59 from 48 deliveries last weekend, was able to improve on that run ball strike rate. This is not good for the Philadelphians. Liam Plunkett, who was just stretching 2 deliveries ago, has bowled 1 over, and then a delivery and pulled up. This could be so detrimental for the Philadelphians, their gun player, strike bowler, walking off with injury.
That also means that they're going to have to rely on another bowler to come in and take his innings. And, you know, they do have a lot of options. They have Trinson Carmichael. They have a number of other players that they can turn to for those extra overs. But as you mentioned, a man of his experience, losing him in so early in this run chase, it will be really, really, really difficult to recover from.
Mario Rampasad comes on the field as a subfielder. So Trinson Carmichael is going to bowl this, but I'm surprised that they've gone with him to finish off the over for Liam Plunkett, because if you want to have him as a bowler who's going to bowl his 4 overs, now it becomes difficult. Having started already an over, more runs for Danish Patel. So Carmichael got 3 wickets with 31 runs in his 4 yesterday.
And just if you're relatively new to the game, of course, the game is played over 20 overs. The bowlers can bowl no more than 4. So the fact that he's coming in midway through an over, as you mentioned, Nikhil, might prevent him from doing that. And coming off that big performance yesterday might be a little bit of a question mark, but they want to make sure, especially early on, that they can see if they can stop the bleeding.
But I can tell you, Milind Kumar, he's got to be very precise in his options. John Campbell's got to hurry. Gets there in the end, very quick between the wickets. I guarantee you, I can tell you who's not bowling the next over, and that's Kumar after conceding 23 runs. I think we'll see him back into the attack, left-hander or not. Good call for 2 straight away. John Campbell got there quite comfortably in the end. Very quick through the air, Trinson Carmichael, man from the Empire State Titans last season. Bowled his very first time in this tournament yesterday and already picked up 3 wickets. Also played for the USA. Remember seeing him in Antigua, those World Cup qualifiers. Playing against the likes of Canada, Argentina, and many others. Bermuda, of course, in those ICC regional qualifiers. Danish Patel, another good platform built for him. Much quicker than usual, the way he started. Just maximizing the power play extremely well so far. Going at over 13.5 runs per over. Couldn't have asked for a better start for the Yorkers in search of this 188.
And Carmichael was really one of their big gets in terms of players who had played in minor league cricket last season.
Wide and more runs. Down the leg side, past Jonathan Fu. Just limiting it to 1. Yeah, Trinson Carmichael picked up in the draft ahead of this 2022 season. It was a big addition for them. Man that did well for the Empire State Titans last season.
They were really excited to add him to this bowling attack, especially with the addition of Plunkett.
Good over for Carmichael.
At the end of the 3rd over, the Yorkers.
End of the 3rd, 40 for none.
Without loss, chasing 188.
Come on, guys, you look down, man. Come on, boy. Come on, man. You gotta keep here. Come on. Got you.
Well, in this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, both these teams will be desperately looking for a win. If you are the Yorkers, you would have watched the Stallions earlier today. I would have known that you need a win to ensure that you just stay at the top of the Eastern Conference. As you're the Philadelphians, currently in 6th position. Basically, you have to win out if you want to make those playoffs. It's going to be Seam into the attack. Kangura for the first time today.
New Jersey Stallions will exit this weekend in 1st place. The question will be how far ahead of the Manhattan Yorkers they'll be. If the Yorkers win, they'll be 1 game behind. They'll be 2 points behind, even on games If not, they'll be tied with the Empire State Titans. The Titans are 4 points behind the Stallions, but they've played 2 more games than the Stallions as we head towards the business end of this Toyota 2022 minor league season presented by Sunoco. Just 2 weekends left.
Miscued, but somehow over the infield, and very fortunate John Campbell not to be taken. So the show must go on for Campbell and the Yorkers. Could have easily been the very first wicket to fall. Good length from Kangura, leading edge, and sorry, not leading edge, came off the outside edge.
I think he got hands on that one. Did the man in, I think that was Khan who might have gotten his hand to it.
Has got that one up the middle. Just short of the man at the mid-wicket. Milind Kumar, the captain, has positioned himself on that deep boundary. Not often we see captains out on that boundary, but I think it tells you the importance of protecting those boundaries in the power play especially. John Campbell's shot the ball nicely so far in this innings. Raj Patel at the other end, picking up right where he left off last weekend against the New England Eagles. There's a team coming on the back of a loss. Remember, they lost by 5 wickets to the team that sits at the bottom of the Eastern Conference, the New England Eagles. They got to 180 as well and couldn't defend it. The Eagles chased it down inside the 19th over. So that will give them confidence, knowing that their batting lineup has fired time and time again. It's a different challenge here at Exton Park because of the slow outfield and also because of the Philadelphians bowling attack. Pace off Patel. Again goes big, all the way for a maximum. What a performance this has been from the Yorkers to start this innings off.
And Patel has led the way, and that one again right in on the breadbasket and sending that one out in towards the hill on the Church Farms Road side. And just an absolute display from these two gentlemen. And Patel motoring on now to 28 off of just 9 deliveries.
Here we were thinking that the way the Philadelphians started was quick. They were 44 after 4 overs. Already in the fourth, halfway in the fourth, they're 49. The Yorkers this time wide of mid-off, and 4 more. More trouble for the Philadelphians. Good fielding though by the crowd. You have to give them credit. They stopped them all. But unfortunately, the Philadelphians need to be the ones to stop them, because this game is slowly slipping away. The 50 comes up inside the 4th over. 14.45 runs per over the scoring rate has been in the power play. You're talking about maximizing the most important phase of the game. Take it from the Yorkers. Look at that hat. He's seen it all. He's very calm in his Philadelphian shirt. Of course, with his England cap on. Not fazed by all the boundaries. Wow. That is stumped from Danish Patel. Make that 2 sixes in the over. How do you stop this man the way he struck the ball at Exton Park?
Bowl him underarm. Just kidding. No, this is another one right here again. This one is a little bit longer, has a little bit more length. He does the exact same thing, sending that one out to the PA tent. And you cannot stop these two, cannot stop Patel. 38 from 11. You cannot stop him. You can only hope to contain him at this point.
Feeling the effects of that Liam Plunkett injury, because now this Philadelphians bowling attack will be very short-handed. Another short delivery, this time punch. 2 is the call. Should get it quite easily in the end. So what a big over that is. 21 runs coming from it. They've struck it to all parts. 61 for none.
My son, he's so soft-spoken. Everyone says he's so good-looking. And he he never forgets to call.
I'm born for your true self. The 2022 Tundra. Toyota. Let's go places.
What's up, Doug? What got into you?
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. Fuel your best.
Well, the perfect day for bonding father and son time. Love to see it at Exton Park. Teaching the young ones about the game of cricket. They are the future of this minor league tournament. Boy, has it been special just to not only see the action on the field, but those who have come and supported the tournament from the outskirts. Credit to the Philadelphians organization for putting a weekend on like this. Been great for the game. Trinson Carmichael will continue. Still 2 overs remaining in this power play. How do you stop the bleeding if you are Milind Kumar, the captain of the Philadelphians? On the leg side. Well, Brian, you know you're a good player if in the last one international you've played, your score was 179. John Campbell, last play for the West Indies at the one international level, and it was part of a 365-run opening stand with Shea Hope. And since then, hasn't played another ODI. Average of 49. It's tough. It's a tough, very tough to take. This time, fortunately for Danish Patel, doesn't time it well, but just fathom that, Brian. 179 is the last time John Campbell suited up for the West Indies in the white ball format. He's able to score 179. Never saw another game.
Well, that also, I guess, just tells you how deep the West Indies runs. And you mentioned Shea Hope, players like Rakeem Cornwall as well, especially him being such a good all-rounder, who's also playing in this minor league cricket competition down in Atlanta.
No white signal by umpire Brian Kane. There it is now. Now it comes. A very delayed reaction from umpire Brian Kane. Have to have a long think about it. Picks it up. And again, it's another maximum. This is a blistering start from the Manhattan Yorkers. There's a reason why they sit pretty at the top of the table of this Eastern Conference, because they have players that can do this.
And causing Brian Kane to go into his yoga pose 6. As once again, that one is slapped to the onside. It's another maximum. And again, both of these batters really just having their way with this bowling attack and still searching for answers.
This time even better, playing with that fielder down at long on. First to the left of him, now to the right. You cannot stop the Yorkers and this opening stand. Whatever's been bowled, whatever's been served up has been taken with open arms by Danish Patel and John Campbell.
They've really done a very good job against every sort of attack, every sort of plan. Be interesting to see if they change that. See if they maybe try to attack the stumps a little bit more. Try and induce something that will change the course of this innings.
Magnificent from John Campbell. Wow, what an innings this has been to watch. The fans are loving it at Exton Park. These two, my oh my, for the Manhattan Yorkers, it's the 8th maximum of the innings. 48 of the 80 runs have come from 6s. Make that the 7th, 7th maximum between these two. The Philadelphians are stunned at the moment. And of course, over the infield, didn't quite get it. Well, John Campbell, it slows up. No, it doesn't, it goes past the boundary, even in that thick outfield. Another big over for the Manhattan Yorkers, who have raced to 84 after the first 5 overs. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. 23 runs from the over.
Are 84 without loss.
It's been all about power. What an innings this has been to watch, Brian.
It really has been. You're right. I don't know that I've ever seen anything like this, especially the specter of bringing up the 100 before the end of the power play. As you see, well ahead of where the Philadelphians were. We thought they had done such a really good job with Kumar and with Plunkett settling in and putting together that big partnership. While these two, Campbell and Patel, have obliterated any pace that they have had in the early going.
16.8 runs per over. Hayat Khan is going to come into the attack. But these two, alongside the Manhattan Yorkers, would have seen a lot of these strokes when they bowled. Boy, have they bettered it. After 5 overs, they were only 47. We thought that was a good rate, especially on this surface where 140 has been about par. They got to 186, and so far, all of a sudden, less than 7 runs and over needed because of this blistering start. Bhatia continuing. Dennis Patel straight to extra cover. A rare dot delivery. Haven't seen that throughout this innings. And the reason that I think has inspired these two is watching the brilliance of Milind Kumar, the captain of the Philadelphians, which has been sort of overshadowed by this brilliance. But look at him in this innings. He really struck the ball to all parts, showed so much versatility in his game. He was able to just use all the dimensions of the field. Have to reball that one, Shiru Bhatia. So the Manhattan Yorkers would have seen that and would have also been very inspired. Bhatia looking to go wide away from Patel, but just too wide on that occasion. So it would have inspired the Yorkers, these openers, and showed them that they can get value for their run, even on a slowish outfield at Exton Park.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of really good batting performances. And how about Darren Bramble earlier today for the New Jersey Stallions with an 80 not out, doing a fantastic job leading the Stallions to victory. Yeah, even on this pitch and even with this grass, it's very good to see higher scores and fantastic performances like we're seeing.
Danish Patel again with the power, and again just stops before the boundary. Very unlucky for him. Almost tricks him in the process. He thought he was going for 4. Just leaves it to 2 runs. You have to run every single thing at Exton Park because you're just never sure on this outfield.
Yeah, if you want to get a 4 here, you have to hit it on a line, because balls that normally would roll for a 4 on just about any other ground are going to die in that outfield. But that's one of the things we saw Kumar do. He hit the ball really hard. You mentioned how he was hitting the ball to every part of the field, but he was hitting it with a lot of pace.
Slapped past the cover fielder, but there is a man on the deep. These two have run really well between the wickets. John Campbell so fast. He's pushed Danish Patel. It's been a good over, though, in the scheme of things for Hayat Khan to just concede 5. I tell you, the Philadelphians, though, there'll be serious worry growing in their camp. If you lose this game, you're almost basically eliminated from this tournament. When you look at the 9 games, 4 wins. If they were to lose today, Brian, and stay on 8 points, then in the 5 remaining games, they can only get to 18. Very hard to not see the top 3 teams getting past 18 points. Stand and deliver, Danish Patel. Take a bow. What a knock this has been. What a performance from the Manhattan Yorkers.
And they are inching closer to bringing up that 100 just before the end of the power play. And nothing is phasing this man. Another beautiful maximum sent out towards the creek.
No celebration from Patel. There it is now. He gets a 50. What a knock it's been. He raises the bat to his team. 51 from 17. One of the fastest 50s we've seen.
Runs for Danish Patel.
After last week, he's took 48 deliveries to get to 59. Well, he's learned from that. He's bettered that in a big way. Hasn't been the easiest of surfaces, but we have seen this ground boy, have they done well in terms of being able to chase the teams. All 3 games won by chasing teams in this festival of cricket. Hayat Khan has already gone the distance once. Can he close out this inning over and get a wicket for his team? Inside out. Was looking for that inside out option. Came off the outside edge and just went straight up. But Milind Kumar, who's one of the best fielders for the Philadelphians, unable to get there. 97 runs inside the power play.
We talked about the competitive of this division. You know, we mentioned this was the closest one of the 4, but after this weekend, the Manhattan Yorkers, if they can hang on to this one, the Stallions, and then the Empire State Titans, who won earlier today against New England, would have separated themselves from the rest of the pack.
One more from Khan. Dot delivery to end the power play. What a performance from the Manhattan Yorkers. This is their game to lose. 97 off the power play.
At the end of 6 overs, Manhattan Yorkers have 97 runs. They require 91 runs to win. And that's the end of the power play. Now the Philadelphians can put 5 fielders outside of the inner circle.
Well, this has got to be the biggest power play of this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship. What a treat to have it on the premium coverage. 97 in the first 6 overs. Brian Barish, what's been your favorite part? You can see there already 3 towers over the 20-run mark. 3 20-run overs coming inside that first 6.
Well, and you know, people come out to see offense and they come out to see the big bash, and that's exactly what they've seen from Campbell and Patel. And not even the partisan crowd here in Philadelphia has to be entertained, even though it is happening by the visiting team, the Manhattan Yorkers, as they come back out onto the middle of the ground. And you can see why they are where they are and in contention to finish in the top 2. But it's been an absolute clinic to especially the youngsters here. And Dinesh Patel really taking control of this one, having reached a half-century so early. And the Philadelphians just having no answers whatsoever on the bowling side.
Well, it will be spinning to the attack for the first time today, outside the power play. And he ruled Emmanuel, one of those youngsters in this 2022 Toyota Minor League, presented by Sunoco, one of those youngsters that have been in the USA youth setup. Spin, pace, it doesn't matter. It's all going. 2 full from Emmanuel. John Campbell says, thank you very much.
And Emmanuel, the youngster coming in, probably a little bit too short, dropped in front of Campbell, who is not afraid to come down the track and smash that one over the sight screen and out into the crops on the Sweetsford Road side. Emmanuel's gotten a haircut since we've seen him last. He had the big, floofy do.
Well, he might want to go bald after this, because the way that John Campbell and Dinesh Patel might not even want, it just might be the stress. Naturally, make that 4 more. Everything has just traveled to the boundary or over the ropes. I can't describe what's going on here. This is an exhibition of run scoring.
Yeah, they're doing it all sorts of ways all over the place, and that is the, let's see, the 6th 4 from these 2 to go with 9 6s between the 2 of them. They are doing it every possible way.
Oh, not a good line, not a good line, but John Campbell knew he missed out. And with that, John Campbell gets to a half-century from just 20 deliveries. No real celebrations from him. Such a consistent performer, one of the leading run scorers in this tournament for the Manhattan Yorkers. So going past that 200 threshold. Two is the call. Just be 1 though. This is a very similar knock to that 85 knot that we saw early in the tournament versus the New Jersey Cavaliers. He opened the batting on that occasion, Last weekend we saw him drop down to number 3, but I think when you've got such an explosive player, you want to have him at the top of the order, maximizing the first 6 overs. This is an international star in this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship. It's why we have our sponsors on board, Dafa News, to bring the talent, the skill from overseas to help the overall caliber of this tournament. Another easy 2 for the Yorkers.
It's helpful, especially when they knew they had to chase down this really, really difficult target of 188. But they've faced every task they've had so far. And yeah, having a man of Campbell's experience and really brings it to this competition.
How often do you see when a team is chasing in excess of 185, a team being able to get the equation down to less than a run a ball? 76 runs needed from 78 balls. It just tells you the importance of boundary striking in T20 cricket.
Have 112 runs.
Wow, what an over. The attacking has not stopped from the very first delivery. At the end of 7, 112 for none. Well, true destruction from the openers of the Manhattan Yorkers. 54 from 20 for Raj Patel. John Campbell at the other end. Not often that he's outshined. 53 from 22 for him. And look at that red worm. Well, just waving the blue one by, because this could be over very quickly if these two remain. Even after the power play, you would think, Brian, okay, you got to 107th over, maybe slow it up, ensure that you minimize the risk. But a very happy camp, the Manhattan crew, because there's been no stopping. Gajanan Singh padded up, looking to come in next.
Just a little bit.
You saw all those names there, and you see everybody else. They're spectators just like you and I, watching this destruction at the crease.
Bhatia. Straight up. Should be taken. Abdullah Saeed has got good hands and finally takes the catch. First wicket for the Philadelphians. Been a long time coming. Boy, did they need that. If there's any chance of pulling this game back, they need to take wickets.
They turn to Bhatia, who had a fifer earlier in this tournament, and he induces a big, big wicket as he pops this one straight up in the air and into the sure hands of the fielder there in the man in Saeed Abdullah. Once again, just getting underneath this one, and sure hands by Abdullah to take the catch.
Well, John Campbell, what a knock it was from him. Pure entertainment. Gone for 53 from just 23 balls. 112 for 1.
Bowled by Bhatia. Yorkers, 112 for 1.
So Gajanan Singh in at number 3, the USA international coming into back into his home team today. Well, he couldn't have asked for a better start from his openers. Raj Patel still at the other end, still there. They'll need much more of where that came from, the Philadelphians. And also remember, they don't have Liam Plunkett, who pulled up with an injury. Let's hope he's okay, because he's such an important piece for this Philadelphians lineup. They're real short-handed now without him. Already have a significant injury to Kareem Agor.
If you remember, Plunkett missed the first game, I think probably for that same injury with tightness. Yeah, it's huge, huge with those two out of the lineup, and they have to navigate this already very difficult situation, try and negate it and at least put themselves in a winning position, which it must be said is going to be very, very difficult.
Raj Patel goes again, and it's the same result. Make that 6 more. Amanda struck 6 maximums. Wow, this is going to be one of the best knocks of this tournament so far.
Going at a strike rate of just under 286. My goodness gracious. And Patel now is going to try and steer the rest of this one. He's going to try and stay out as long as he can. But We mentioned Badia coming into the attack and looked pretty sunny after that first wicket. Patel has come and pretty much said, no, we're going to get back to the way things have been.
Well, he wasn't too fazed by losing his opening partner at the other end because the very next delivery just goes back to his normal proceedings. And regular scheduled programming, here we go again. Worked off the hips this time. Just be another 2 runs. 22 deliveries for 62 runs for Danish Patel.
Same bat time, same bat channel. Yeah, just same as it ever was. And, you know, they're going at 16.1. The asking rate is 5.5. So they are, you know, they want to help the run rate, especially if it comes down to a tie for second place with Empire State Titans right on their tail.
Stylish, very stylish player, Patel. He's only faced 2 dot deliveries in the 23 that he's played. Even when he hasn't hit those 6s, he has been able to just find the gaps for 2. It's a slow outfield. It's a big field here at Exton Park. He's managed it really well.
Yeah, big and slow. As we've mentioned, when you get past the circle, it does tend to slow up a fair bit. And the only way to really get past that, as we mentioned before, is really to hit the ball hard. But they're being able to do that with different pace. The exit velocity, so to speak, varying, and that's leading to varying results. And they were running well. Patel and Campbell were running very well between the wickets earlier.
Raj Singh already straight away off the mark, and he comes in at a time where his team just needs 66 runs from 73 deliveries. That's at less than 5.5 runs per over. You can see that run rate still past 15.5. So 1 delivery remaining in the 8th. 10 runs already from the over, even though they picked up the wicket, the Philadelphians. It won't help their cause that they've lost Plunkett. Carmichael's probably can only bowl 3 overs because of the one that he finished. Down the ground, it should just be a 1. So another double-digit over for the Yorkers, even though they've lost the wicket. End of 8, 123 for 1.
My son, he's so soft-spoken. Everyone says he's so good-looking, and he never forgets to call.
Hi, Mom. Born for your true self. The 2022 Tundra. Toyota. Let's go places.
And that's the end of the 8th over.
What's up, Dad?
187 runs.
What got into you?
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. Fuel your best.
Well, back at Exton Park, Milind Kumar, the captain, who conceded 23 runs in the very second over, is coming into the attack. Very interesting, Brian. The captain going back to himself.
I don't know, he has very many options because everybody else has been just about blitz. And of course, they don't have the services of Liam Plunkett. If we take a very quick look at this, you know, Carmichael's given up 30 from his nearly 2 overs. Kangura's given up 21. Khan 13 in his 1 over. Emmanuel in 14. They're trying to squeeze blood from a stone at this point.
2 is the call. And they're coming back as well. Gajanan Singh showing good intent, even though they're in a comfortable position. It's what you see from good teams, not letting up, not taking anything for granted. Just bringing this equation down ball by ball. I want to see how Danish Patel goes. He was a big part of taking 23 from Milind Kumar. And from that first over, which only went for 6 runs, mind you. Imagine, Brian, they picked up 97 runs from the first 6 overs, but 91 of them came in 5 because they only conceded 6 runs in the first over, the Philadelphians. They would have been thinking, well, this could be our game. Then the injury to Liam Plunkett, and from there, things just went from bad to worse.
Yeah, the wheels really came off since then, and you know, they're really going to have to try this. But, you know, you mentioned the Yorkers. They're not going to change their game 1 iota. You're right. It's business as usual. They got to pretend like they still have a long way to go, like they're maybe 100 runs out at this point. It's what good teams do.
Hasn't quite got this, Gajanan Singh. Trinsa Carmichael's a very good fielder in the cover region. And he takes a good diving catch. Just wasn't necessary from Singh. A very manageable equation. U.S. international dismissed. That will help the cause for the Philadelphians. Millen Kumar getting in on the wickets.
Excellent catch there by Trinson Carmichael.
This is actually a really good catch from Trinson Carmichael, coming in on the covers and coming forward. And a man of his experience is going to take that just about every day of the week as you see it one more time. And that will be Singh caught Carmichael, bowled by Millen Kumar for 1 from just 2 balls. They are now 126 for 2 with the Yorkers.
Yeah, now losing a wicket in consecutive overs, the Manhattan Yorkers. Rajdeep Darbar, the captain, comes to the middle. And you don't think he'll be under too much pressure, the way, especially with Danish Patel at the other end. But the Philadelphians will have to be optimistic and know that if they can get a wicket of Danish Patel and then begin to create some pressure, all of a sudden it's a different game. So you've got to stay locked in and be ready to seize any opportunity that comes your way.
In this game of 2020 cricket, things can change so fast. That's what makes it so great. And that's why we're happy we have this Toyota Minor League 2022 competition presented by Sunoco.
Very interested to see Danish Patel, though, now that they've lost 2 of his batting partners at the other end. Does he just sort of try to continue the onslaught, continue to find the boundary, or does he look to bide his time at the crease? Rajdeep Darbar, the captain, off the mark straight away. And even still, with the loss of the 2 wickets, that run rate is still over 14 runs per over. It tells you about the start, the 97-run power play, biggest of this tournament.
Yes.
Now, Danish Patel, everything he's hit into the onside has gone the maximum. It's another one. Make that 7. And look at what it means to his team. What a scintillating innings this has been.
Absolutely a blistering 6. He's done it again, and you mentioned whether or not he was just going to kind of sit back. But when you get a delivery like this, a little bit short and dispatched into the tents for another maximum.
Not easing up this Yorkers team, 134 for 2.
Grab the helmet, let's move, okay?
Well, at a similar stage, after 9 overs, they were just 83 for 1, the Philadelphians. I'm really eager to see the Yorkers having batting first in this situation, how much they could have really got up to, because currently going at 14 runs per over, it's meant now they only need to score at 4.91. 54 runs needed for victory. And you think with 8 wickets in hand, they really should get over the line because of this young man. Boy, has he been special to watch, Danish Patel. 74 from 28 deliveries.
That is scintillating, as you said earlier. And again, T20, he's managed to see a lot of these 6s, in the crowd that's come out today have seen them in spades.
Forcing him to pull, but that's not what you want to do to such a strong player. Such a strong onside player, Danish Patel. But it's his partner, Rajdeep Darbar, who's getting in on the captain, straight away at the crease. So he says, Danish, I can join in as well.
And hitting a hot shot 4, 1 bounce and over. That's how you have to do it on this thick outfield here at Exton Park.
Well, with this innings from Patel, he now goes up to lead the run scoring charts for the Yorkers. Going to 281 runs, an average of over 40 with this innings. Third 50 of this tournament. He's a young man. And we'll be very happy with also the way that he struck the ball, because the strike rate, he was just going at above a run a ball, Patel, before this game. But he's showing you that he's got that other side to his game. Can really flick the switch and attack when necessary. Down the track, well ball by Shirobhatia, just on the inside of that wide line.
Yeah, when you are so far ahead like this, you can afford to just be very picky and not do anything stupid. You don't have to chase that one and get a top edge and fly out. Very smart bowling here.
Yeah, I did see this from Hayat Khan a couple of times, and I think it's the right way to go. Anytime you're straight to Danish Patel, the majority of his maximums have come in the onside. But when you have been outside that off stump on a 4th or 5th stump line, he's been very happy to just touch the ball in the offside and get a single. So you've got to be a bit more methodical in your approach to Patel. Of course, you've got to try and find a way to dismiss him, because if he keeps batting, this will be over very quickly. Big swing and a miss. This has been very rare for the Philadelphians to concede less than 10 runs in an over.
And really, Bhatia has been the best, it seems like, of all the bowlers so far, having taken that early wicket and in a relative sense containing this Yorkers onslaught, and considering that they haven't been running very deep in this bowling attack with, as we mentioned, the injury to Plunkett.
This is his run-up. Bhatia under some pressure, these bowlers for the Philadelphians. You want to get it right, whether it's to Darbar or Danish Patel. 140, and we are yet to cross the 10th over. If you're now joining us, well, you've come to a real treat. Maybe a bit too late, because we've seen an onslaught with the man at the non-strikers end, Danish Patel, and his opening partner, John Campbell. Taken. Second wicket for Bhatia, straight to Milind Kumar, who completes the catch. And now the 3rd wicket going down for the Yorkers. Is it just too little too late?
Maybe so, but Milind Kumar doing what good captains do, making the big plays there, just picking that one off of a blade of grass. And you might be right, Nikhil, this might be too little too late, but the confidence at least soaring a little bit. And Darbar, the captain, has gone for 6.
After 10 overs,
140 for 3.
Yorkers have 140 runs for 3 wickets, chasing 187. They need 48 runs to win, with 10 overs left.
So with that loss of the wicket, it means now in the last 2 overs they've taken a wicket, the Philadelphians, but still that asking rate is just under 5 and over. And it is Bhaskar Yajram, who's been in the runs this season, walking to the middle. A bit early for him, walking at number 5. But I think if you are the Yorkers, you have to be very smart about this. You want to ensure that just have someone spend time at the crease with Danish Patel the way he's gone about this innings. You don't need to try too much from the other end, because he's doing all the scoring. So Yajram walks to the middle. Milind Kumar will bowl his 3rd over. It was a decent one, just conceding the 11 runs and picking up a wicket in his last. Two is the call from Patel. Just be a single though. No real risk needed at this stage. Brings Yajram on strike, and also brings Matthew Aichibar into the commentary box. Matt, well, you talk about the Yorkers as one of the stronger teams, but what an innings this has been in pursuit of that 188.
Yeah, it's been amazing so far with the Manhattan.
So Shiranshu Bhatia, who's been the standout in terms of with the ball in hand, the only bowler to concede less than 10 runs and over. He's also picked up 2 wickets to his name as well. Bowling to Bhaskar Yajram. Starts very straight, good delivery to start. Bhatia's been difficult. How much has the Philadelphia been impacted by the loss of Liam Plunkett?
I think definitely in this situation, it's a massive, massive blow. The fact that you don't have that type of experience.
Well, I can tell you the reason it's a big, massive blow because it's been all maximums from Danish Patel. Anything short, he's just been happy to hit. 7 sixes in his innings. Boy, has he been a treat to watch. Yeah, Danish Patel, scintillating ball striking here at Exton Park. A great way to end the Philadelphia Cricket Festival with a knot like that. And it's not over yet. He's still there at the other end. Leaves it outside the off-stump dot delivery. Some more of the highlights of Danish Patel's plays. If you're now joining us, boy, has this man been magnificent. Young man. Would have been looking to emphasize his place in the team. Most of the sixes he hit came through that mid-wicket region, and just showing his approval to his team, celebrating his 50. But he'll be thinking about the 3-figure score as well, Matt. Still very possible with 41 runs needed.
Yeah, still plenty of time, no real pressure on him. And still 40 runs he should get. If he bats the whole way, no doubt about it, he'll get triple figures. But Danish Patel, it's been a brilliant innings from him so far, and he's really come to the party the last week or so in this minor league.
Come on, guys, come on.
Due to extra cover, and will be two for the overthrows.
Right there. Don't pitch up, don't pitch up.
Another quick single. They've done that well, even when they haven't been able to score boundaries off of Chiru Bhatia. And it's going to be overthrows as well. Sloppy from Philadelphians. So 3 runs to end the over. 150 comes up in just the 12th over. It's been almost comical the way that the Yorkers have scored, how quickly they've been able to do it. 150 for 3.
At the end of 12 overs, the Manhattan Yorkers have 150 runs for 3 wickets. They need 38 runs to win.
30 seconds extra.
Well, just to bring something to your attention, early we had a small error in scoring.
38 runs
and Milind Kumar actually did get to his 100. 104 from 62 deliveries. And we thought he fell short at 92, but he actually got all the way for that 100. It's a pity we didn't get to see him celebrate. But Danish Patel has clearly seen that, and he said no, he wants to do better. They have kept him quiet though, Matt, in the last couple of deliveries. But I like this from Danish Patel because he's not trying to be too ambitious. Wants to see it home to the end for his team.
Yeah, realizing the bigger picture here, Danish Patel. Realizing that they've got to get 34 runs first, and if he manages to cross the century mark before that, then so be it. But love the approach from the young man.
Matt, at 14 years old, are you allowed to call somebody a young man? I thought I was young until I met you.
Well, I think no doubt about it, Danish Patel is still a young man, so I will still call him that.
You have to be the youngest man.
Yeah.
14 years old. So great to have young Matthew Aichibar in the commentary box alongside me. Real talent in this country, not only on the cricket field, but even behind the mic in the cricket, in the commentary box. Watch out for this man. Watch out for this boy, I should say, the youngest man. Yadram, he's watched for a long time, but he's a powerful player for this Yorkers team, and it goes all the way for 6, down on one knee. Well, this game could be over very soon.
Yeah, Bhaskar Yadram, look at that slug sweep. And I made the point last week. Bhaskar Yadram is perhaps the Toyota Tundra in a human form. Big, powerful man, and he's shown it on that occasion.
Yeah, also the impact that he's able to make as well. Just batted 7 times now in this tournament. He struck it over 150, but also picked up 18 wickets now. And he's going again, this time even better. Make that 2 sixes in a row for Yadram and the Manhattan Yorkers, who are now less than 30 runs away from victory.
Back-to-back from Bhaskar Yadram, and looking to take matters into his own hands and finish the deal here for the Manhattan Yorkers. As if there was any lingering doubt still, Bhaskar Yadram has surely put that away in just a matter of deliveries.
But he just ensured that he was able to spend some time at the crease before he went berserk. But now 2 maximums and Milind Kumar. What an expensive spell this has been. We thought that Raj Patel conceded a lot, but 55 runs similar for Milind Kumar, and still 1 delivery remaining in this spell. Well, this has been a real treat, a runs fest. Pure entertainment, probably the perfect way to end what's been an excellent Philadelphia Cricket Festival. Festival is all about celebration. This has been a celebration of batting. 166 for 3.
After 13 overs, the Manhattan Yorkers have 166 for 3
If you're now joining us, Milind Kumar got 100 in the first innings of this game for the Philadelphians. Danish Patel possibly could do it in much quicker time. 83 from 36. This has been, in your opinion, Matt, you watched a lot of the minor leagues so far. Is this the best innings you've seen in the first 6 weeks?
I think I've definitely seen a lot. I think this is definitely up there. But I think that Chandrapal Hemraj century against the Philadelphians, I think that's probably the one, at least that I've seen live, stand out to me.
130, I think 55 deliveries. How is that possible?
It was an absolute batting display from Hemraj. All parts of the ground, no one was spared.
And Matt, if you give Danish Patel 55 deliveries, he may be past that. Short again. Bhaskar Yadram. 6 again. Well, this man makes 6 hitting look so easy. He's so deceptive because he doesn't look like he's putting in much effort. But the ball is just traveling.
Yeah, and it's a not so great start for Saripul Islam, who is coming into the team. And Bhaskar Yadram straight away getting a shorter one and hammering that all over the rope.
$172 runs inside the 14th over. Again, works into the onside. 2 is the call. It's going to be only 1. Danish Patel won't want to give it away by the way of run out. Jonathan Fu always upbeat, but I can tell you, Matthew, the Philadelphians, after losing yesterday in a final ball thriller, and now the way that they've gone down in this manner, this is going to hurt them for a long time, possibly put them out of the tournament as well.
Yeah, at this stage, it's looking likely that the Philadelphians have found themselves climbing Everest. And it also puts the Manhattan Yorkers and the Stallions, who won earlier today, in a very, very commanding position here, especially given perhaps the closest team is the Empire State Titans, who have only got 3 games left. Compare that to the Manhattan Yorkers, who have played 9. They've still got so many games in hand.
Yeah, it does help the rest of the teams, like the Cavaliers, the DC Hawks, who will be searching for that 2nd place. This Eastern Conference has been nothing short of so exciting in this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship. Next weekend, the action continues in this division. The Yorkers taking on the Eagles. The Philadelphians up against the Yorkers again. Well, that's today, sorry. The Stallions up against the DC Hawks. So many enticing battles. Narrowly missing that all stump. Gets away with one, Bhaskar Yadram.
Yeah, looking for a big heave again, this time unable to make contact, and through it goes to Jonathan Fu.
Gonna have to reball that one for sure. Very wide outside the off stump.
Come on. Line it up. Line it up. Come on. Wicket.
Well, ever since the third over, Matthew, when Liam Plunkett went down to injury, just bowled one delivery. The shackles have just come off of this Philadelphians team. 175 for 3.
At the end of 14 overs, the Manhattan Yorkers have 175 with a loss of 3. They need only 13 runs.
That's scared this game, but it's not a true.
13 runs needed from the last 6 overs. An onslaught by Patel and John Campbell, the two. Put on 112 of the 175 in a very quick time as well. What a treat it's been to sit here and witness this. A true exhibition of boundary striking, led by Danish Patel. Of course, action happening around the country as well. The Strikers are defending champions in action, as well as the Athletics, the Tigers, the Raptors. Also seeing a key battle in Atlanta, where the Atlanta Fire have gunned down 193. They're 155 for 2 in 15 overs. Tell you that other side of this Atlantic Conference. We'll have a look at them next weekend. Of course, the premium coverage rolls on to Atlanta next week. The Fire, the Lightning, the Morrisville Raptors, all in action. That's going to be another enticing affair, another closely contested conference, which could go either way, Matt.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that weekend. Won't be there in person to see it, but thanks to premium streaming, I'm sure I'll get the best experience wherever I am.
Comes back for 2, Yadram. He's not helping his teammate at the other end, Danish Patel, get to his 100, because now only 10 runs needed, and Baski Yadram happy to come back for 2. But it's good not to see that Danish Patel's worried about personal accolades. He wants to get his team over the line as quick as possible, knowing the importance of the net run rate.
Yeah, and with how tight this Eastern division has been, who knows, net run rate will be crucial to all teams. Even the Manhattan Yorkers, a side that you'd think has already booked themselves a spot in the playoffs.
But I can tell you, it's a statement to oppositions to come when a team is able to gun down 188 inside of 15 overs. 9 runs away. Just works it off the hips, Danish Patel. Just be a single. 180 comes up. Patel has definitely slowed up his scoring rate, but still that strike rate over 200 is because of the 7 maximums he was able to strike, especially off the quicker bowlers. At this similar stage, they were 119 for 2, the Philadelphians. Yadram thumps it down the ground, just be a single, end of the over. 181 for 3.
My son, he's so soft-spoken. Everyone says he's so good-looking, and he never forgets to call.
Hi, Mom. Born for your true self. The 2022 Tundra. Toyota. Let's go places.
What's up, Doug? What got into you?
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. Fuel your best.
Yadram has come in and played a real good knock for his team, even though he's come in at a time with not much pressure. The fact that he's been able to enhance his all-round ability, crossing that 200 mark now, 28 from 20. The man that's come from the Empire State Titans, Matt, a man you would have seen very closely last season. He's definitely improved though, because even though he scored 365 runs last year, strict at 140, he's only took 14 wickets. Already this season he's gone to 18 and on course to pass his runs tally as well.
Yeah, Bhaskar Yadram bowling-wise, he's improved. And even batting-wise, he's been a lot more consistent. I remember right at the start of last year, had struggled for runs.
Powers it down the ground. Work to be done by the long off fielder. Does well to keep it in just for a single. Brings Danish Patel on strike. But it's been truly enjoyable on behalf of all of the production team here at Exton Park and back in Utah, just to bring you the premium coverage of this festival of cricket. It's the perfect name, really. When you look at the way the 4 games have gone, we've had some low-scoring affairs, a couple of games going to the last delivery, and then the way that this game, this total has been chased, you always knew if the Yorkers were to get this 187, it would be an excellent run chase, given the nature of their batting lineup. A fitting end to a fantastic weekend of cricket. Credit again to the minor league for putting on this brilliant event. Well, this time it will go down to third. Man up in the circle. It will be another boundary for Yadram, who moves into the 30s and moves his team just one away now. Scores level.
Yeah, another boundary off the bat of Bhaskar Yadram. Carved away, picks up another 4. And now the score is level with 27 deliveries still to go.
Finishes it in style. Bhaskar Yadram with a maximum. A fitting way to end what's been a glorious performance from the Manhattan Yorkers to further solidify their place at the top of this Eastern Conference. What a performance to chase down 188 runs inside of 16 overs. Led by that man on screen, Danish Patel. Take a bow.
Yeah, brilliant knock from Danish Patel. And then Bhaskar Yadram as well, right at the end. A nice little knock from him. Don't forget John Campbell as well, right at the top of the order. And he was kind of overshadowed by Danish Patel. John Campbell as well, playing a very good hand. But what a chase, what a batting display from the Manhattan Yorkers.
For the Philadelphians, so much to go at and think about as their tournament almost over in this minor league, because they just haven't found any answers. It's a bittersweet weekend for them after putting on such a brilliant event to go winless. Bhaskar Yadram will walk off with his chin up. He'll be very happy with his performance. But Danish Patel, a true test and a show of mental fortitude. The way he started in that power play, got them to 112 in the first 7 overs. Of course, well supported, having experience at the other end in John Campbell. You can see they're just getting congratulated by his teammates. An excellent innings there, the opening pair is. Great to see John Campbell and Danish Patel. But it means then that they win by 7 wickets, which will help their net run rate in a huge way. The Manhattan Yorkers, a statement piece for oppositions, a team that will look, after missing out on the playoffs last year, a team that will look to qualify and get to that finals weekend. 87 from just 40 for Patel. John Campbell with a 50, and then Bhaskar Yadram, a small cameo towards the end, ensuring his team got over the line quite comfortably.
And the bowling card for the Philadelphians, the fact that they use so many bowlers says it all, really. Chiru Bhatia was good, 3 overs, 2 for 21. But other than that, we saw Liam Plunkett unfortunately getting injured and having to go off. But other than that, very difficult day at the office for the Philadelphians in the field.
Well, what a game of cricket it's been. It's been full of runs. And being able to chase 188 inside of 16 overs. The biggest power play of the tournament, 97 runs coming from it. And in the end, winning by some 7 wickets, the Yorkers. Well, an innings of true entertainment. Probably one of the best games we've seen in terms of shots, in terms of boundaries. Milind Kumar from the very second over conceded 23 runs. And well, Danish Patel, he dealt in maximums. John Campbell just watched from the other end for a long time until he also got in on the act. The opening batter from the West Indies went straight back over the bowler's head a couple of times. So strong down the ground, John Campbell. They didn't quite get that one, but it was the same result, knowing exactly where his fielders would position. This young man, though, Danish Patel, is a special talent, one to watch as this tournament progresses. And hit so many of those maximums in that mid-wicket to cow corner region. Real treat to watch. Danish Patel, and then things just went from bad to worse for the Philadelphians. Anytime you concede 97 runs in the first 6 overs, it's always going to be tough as a bowling team, regardless of how much ever you scored. And that is Patel, John Campbell. Magnificent to watch. Campbell, whether it was on the front foot, on the back foot, and also helped a young man like Danish Patel, having a player like John Campbell at the other end. 112 runs the two put on. The Philadelphians, after losing Plunkett to injury, simply had no answer for demolition on display by the Manhattan Yorkers. He got to his 50, Danish Patel, and you can just see the excitement on his face, raised his back to his team, but he knew the job was not done yet. Had to see it all the way to the end. John Campbell came and would have been inspired by his teammate, the way that he was able to go about his 50, and then he took on the mantle, the bulk of the scoring. Finally got to his 50 before he was dismissed. Looking to move him long off, and just found the safe pair of hands of Abdullah Saeed. But it was just too little too late. At that stage, Yaskir, it was under 5 runs and over. And Danish Patel with a few big blows, even though they lost 3 wickets in 3 overs, the Manhattan Yorkers. Gajanan Singh came and was dismissed quickly. And then Patel, Danish Patel, would be very happy about this innings, the way he's played. Rajdeep Darbar came and played a couple of good shots before he then was dismissed in the next over. But the thing that was the most impressive was the fact that Danish Patel wasn't fazed by this. He was just able to continue. When Bhaskar Yadram, the power, call him the Toyota Tundra of this Manhattan Yorkers team, because he just easily, effortlessly struck 4 big maximums to get to 40 and made Danish Patel's work at the other end very simple. Was able to just score so quickly. That was his lone boundary, and then took the game on to ensure they won it inside of 16 overs. You can see they're so strong, anything on a good length. Boy, did he dispatch that. Well, we've seen all the action, seen some fantastic ball striking. How can we not talk to the man who's been really the star, you can say, of this weekend, Danish Patel. Danish, 87 from 40, 188. What was the plan at the halfway interval in terms of trying to chase down this score?
We had a plan to go deep as possible, because on AstroTurf it's kind of easy to chase a big score, but the main thing, to chase the target, you need to have your wickets in hand. So my role was to stay there till all the overs we have, and the non-strikers are where we're trying to go. So yeah, that was the plan, to chase the target.
Danish, last weekend you got 59 and 48 deliveries. Today though, your 50 came much quicker, 87 from 40, you struck out over 200. What do you think was different about your batting, and how important was it for you to sort of get that strike rate up, because it was just around 100, touching 100 coming into this game?
So last game we were batting first, so the thing was I need to go deep as possible, and in this game I had an intent to score big runs, because we had a huge total in front of us. So that's the only thing I was intent to go big. Yeah, that's it.
And here you see some of your highlights. Truly a magnificent innings. At the other end was John Campbell, who also got a 50. What is the benefits of having an experienced player who's played 20 test matches for the West Indies at the other end? What is the relationship you guys share?
we had a good off-field relationship. We are really close, and he always share his thoughts with me. And also during the batting, he was also saying me to go as deep as possible, so that other non-striker batsmen can go and hit the ball freely.
Finally, Danish, what is this win for the Manhattan Yorkers now? The way you guys have gone about it, winning inside of 16 overs, what do you think this does as a sort of warning to other teams?
Yeah, it was a much-needed win for us because we lost 2 games. So it was a much-needed win. Yeah.
Well, for those at home, he's still got on his pads. Danish Patel, it tells you how much he's been inside the action. Great to see the youngster get to 87. He's definitely today's man of the match. And he's helped his team, the Yorkers, get over the line and remain in the second position, but gunning for a place in the top 2 who will go on to the playoffs in 2 weeks' time. And that net run rate, you can see it gone past 1.4 because of the manner, the dominant manner in which the Yorkers have won today against the Philadelphians. For the Philadelphians, well, a disappointing loss now almost puts them out of this tournament, stuck on 8 points with just 5 games remaining. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a true pleasure from all of the production team at Antares Media and the team involved in bringing the 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship to you, of course presented by Sunoco. Next weekend, you don't want to miss it. The Atlanta Cricket Fields, we are coming. It's going to be the Lightning up against the Morrisville Raptors in a truly mouth-watering affair. And then the Atlanta Fire with Raheem Cornwall, Aaron Jones, Stephen Taylor, and so many others are going to be in action against the Orlando Galaxy. We hope to see you then. And then on Sunday, we have more action. The Fire up against the Raptors and the Lightning on the flip side of things up against the Galaxy. 4 quick games coming thick and fast. Truly magnificent action should be promised come Atlanta next weekend as this premium coverage shifts across the country. Well, it's been truly a privilege from Nikhil Tumshanani and all of the team here in this 2022 Minor League Championship to bring the action live to you. We do look forward to definitely seeing you next weekend as this tournament rolls on and intensifies. It's bye for now.
You're watching the Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, presented by Sunoco.